Now, here we go, folks. Welcome into Talk or Go Home. Nick Wilson, Clint, Thompson, David Murphree, and we've got two special guests with us today, two guys that have really supported the show, and we're happy to have them here because we know it's going to be a great episode. Mark and Matthew Sanders. We got Mark over here and Matthew over here. So thank you. Thanks, guys, for coming on. I mean, y'all have listened. Y'all have listened to the show for some time now, right?
Yes, absolutely. Since the beginning.
Since
the transition.
Because we did make a transition there.
Yeah.
To this guy.
Yeah.
And it was that probably I'm not going to say
The
the best.
best.
It's the best decision we've ever
It's the
made,
best.
but yeah.
I mean, it's like I don't know, man. You get somebody like this on your team. It's kind of like signing Michael Jordan, you know.
Yeah,
Little
it
bit.
is.
I mean, hey, he comes along.
The amount of text messages that we three exchange about ideas for the show have been like we've had this idea for
At least a season.
I was going to say 9 months, maybe a year.
Yeah.
I mean, we wanted to have you guys on because he's like, look, we got to have him on. We got to talk about X, Y, Z, da 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 da. And so I know he is like a kid in a candy store. He can't contain himself.
We got X. The only thing we might not have enough of is time to contain all the stories. So.
I know, but that's a good problem to have.
Hey, we can do a two-parter. I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'm here till X time anyway. So
Yeah, X time.
yeah,
X time.
X time.
I gotta ask. So was this coordinated?
Yes, it was.
Did you both go and buy brand new overalls because they look brand new?
Yeah, they do.
All right, this is like the fourth time I wore these.
Okay.
But, he just likes to keep his stuff nice.
No, this is my Sunday pair.
He's got a
Church
Sunday pair.
overall.
I got you.
No, I was out cutting grass yesterday, and I was I was listening to the James Spann
episode
last week, because I ain't got to it yet in the last couple of weeks, but I listened to other ones. But I was riding, I was like, and I'd seen that Facebook picture, that profile picture, you out working in your overalls.
That was my work overalls. I had those on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it, and I was like, it'd be funny if I put my overalls on. I was like, I'm gonna see if he wants to wear them. So I texted Murph. I said, hey, I plan on wearing my overalls tomorrow if you want to follow suit. And he was like, man, that sounds like a good plan.
Of course, I was not in that.
I wasn't either, man.
Well, he asked me, he's like, hey, do we want to tell everybody else? And I was like, well,
It's okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Would the joke lose? Would it lose like power if everybody had them on?
You just wanted a special thing with him.
Yeah, that's all it was. It's okay.
I think it's
Selfish.
Look, all the overall leverage on that side.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
They wanted
heavy.
that side of the table.
It's heavy on that side.
Maybe it's
We look like a tag team, don't we?
You do. That's what I was
What? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. What would y'all's name be?
Lakers thing, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, you did have Hillbilly Jim and Cousin Junior
Yeah, that's what I was
at one time. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what our tag team name would be.
I mean,
We got to come up with it right now.
We'll think of something.
Yeah,
like
man.
Sasquatch and the Smurf. We got.
Squatch and the Smurf.
Hey,
I mean,
the home,
What-
the home wreckers.
Why do you?
After the burrito, not from anything else.
Yeah, burritos, man.
Why'd you call him Smurf?
I mean, it's
Elaborate.
I mean, look, we've been around this legend here, Coach
Yeah,
David Murphree.
Yeah.
19.
Since I can remember being
Yeah.
alive, okay?
Yeah, I've been carbo loading over at y'all's house
I mean,
since when y'all were
it's-
tiny.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been a long
it's
time.
been a long road. I mean, we can get into the story from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's probably a topic of conversation down the road, but yeah, I mean, me and Mark, I mean, we've been with Coach Murphree since we were 3rd, 4th, 5th graders.
Yeah.
You know, all the way through school.
I was kind of hoping when I was a teenager that I would get to learn how to drive in your car, but it ended up being me learning how to drive in Coach Gross's old red Nissan truck. Remember that stick shift?
We were
That's
talking
how-
about that the other day. That's the one that rolled down the hill at Springle into a tree. Yeah. Total.
Wow.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, Coach Murphy has a legendary vehicle.
Yeah.
Had.
Well, I would like.
Rest
if I
in
see
peace.
him,
In my mind, he
him
still got
with
it,
the
yeah.
Smurfmobile.
I don't even want to think that it's gone,
I
honestly.
mean,
It's
the
kinda-
Escort was
I mean, we told him a while ago that it needs to be in a museum in glass.
glass and
bronzed
case,
out.
you know.
Well, at least the wheel's bronzed out. You got to keep the old blue color. But
Yeah.
It needs to be a relic here at Asheville High School.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. I remember Billy Wakefield saying one time that we're going to see you coming down the road one day and all you're going to have is a steering wheel and a seat.
Absolutely. I mean, the Smurfmobile. I mean, it's. I mean, when did you get that thing? I mean, the early '90s.
'88, I guess.
88,
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
you
mean,
you
so-
drove it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because what year did you graduate?
I don't know.
89.
89. 89,
So you had
yeah.
it in high school all the way
89, yeah.
through.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing's been at Asheville High School for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know where it is now.
He's been in Asheville High
He's
School
been
for a
at
long
Asheville High
time.
School for a long time.
Now, like for those that,
Live in legend.
just in case we got to be specific for people that don't know, so y'all's dad coached with him when he was right after out of high school, right? What year did Tom get?
Well, he was here when I was in high school playing,
Okay.
and then he was defense coordinator for a little while. He was scout coach. He went and scouted. Then he was defense coordinator. Then he went to Raglan,
Right.
as assistant principal. And I guess back here as principal.
Well,
Well,
I guess
think
you
he
were
went-
fifth grade.
He went,
I got a funny story
he
behind
went
that
from, He went from Raglan to Springville,
too. Yeah, then here,
Yeah. Ooh.
then here,
then to
then to Raglan as assistant principal.
Now I rolled him on the football field up there one day. That's the only time I ever remember Reagan Clark laughing.
Yeah.
Ever.
Dad,
I was going after. Well, he was just standing there when he was a scout coach, standing there looking at a clipboard and talking to somebody, and I was going after the safety at practice, and we went down to the ground and hit him in the leg and just rolled him.
Yeah.
And Coach Clark had to put his clipboard over his face. I think he turned around and put it over his face. That's the only time I ever really remember him laughing ever at anything, really.
Yeah. You know, Dad, it probably hurt him a lot worse than he thought. 'Cause he was just,
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had the,
He just got out of
paralyzed.
he just got out of that. Yeah.
Oh my God, man! Here comes
Murphree
I know. I know, man.
He ain't taking no prisoners.
I know. I hit him hard now. It rolled him up bad now. Yeah, you're right. He's just down a wheelchair, pretty much. Because he come from Springville here. Yeah.
And that was probably his first.
Yeah. Yeah, I took him out.
Just got back healthy,
Yeah.
like a kamikaze out there.
Yeah, Dad had to teach
Yeah.
himself how to walk and run again.
Yeah.
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 Well, I got the backstory behind that. Dad had he was coaching, assistant coach at Springville, and had
Like a viral infection.
a viral infection in his spine, and it caused him to go paralyzed from the
He
waist
like
down.
fell
so-
out in practice one day.
So he was in the hospital for a while. Then
Jeez.
he ended up having to teach himself how to walk and stuff and run again. So
Now when he was
then Murph came on and rolled him up.
Yeah.
now when he was the defense coordinator, that's when we played in the first round up at what's that school up in DeKalb County? Had the guy that was head coach at Tennessee. What's his name?
Plainview.
Plainview.
Dale Pruitt.
The Bears.
Who was the guy that was head coach at?
Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, now he
His
was the
son.
quarterback of that Plainview
Yeah.
team, and we played up there in the first round when your dad was defense coordinator, but he had the flu that night,
Oh, really?
and he didn't go to the game, didn't make it to the game.
How about that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
In Rainsville.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Plainview, yeah.
Then Pruitt back as D coordinator for his dad in high school. I think at Plainview. Yeah.
There's no way.
I
Seriously?
swear, yes.
I thought
Yeah,
he was
Dale-
in the NFL. I thought.
Dale's still coaching.
Okay.
I heard this like 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
there you
so.
go. Full circle.
Me and Rob McHugh were sitting around talking about it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's well, Dale. So Paul Benefield, who's the head coach at Fife, and Paul Benefield was Dale Pruitt's defensive coordinator at one point in time. The amount of people that Dale Pruitt has coached with, and
pretty
it's insane.
Yeah, we were
Um,
talking about how crazy it is, for his son to go be a head coach at Tennessee. When
Yeah.
I'm back, my dad's defensive coordinator.
Right.
But he's still isn't Tennessee still?
I'm sorry, man. I don't mean nothing disrespectful by that. But
That's the truth,
I was gonna.
Show calls action going on too. Right?
There's that. There's that.
I was gonna help you out. I mean, Tennessee's still paying him, right?
I believe.
Are they?
I believe
mean,
so.
he's a smart. I mean, hey, if that's the case, go.
Why
go
not?
Dale.
I mean, you don't have to
Yeah, you really don't really need money.
still coach football, but
Well, usually how those things work out is, we'll pay you, but if you find another job, we'll pay you the difference.
Yeah.
So if you're making $10,000 a year as a defensive coordinator for a high school, then you're still making $1 million from Tennessee, probably.
Shoot, Alabama's probably still paying some of them guys you played for.
Probably. Yeah, that was a rough transition. Man.
I never saw anything firsthand. I can't speak on it.
yeah. So both of y'all, that's something interesting. Both of you attended the University of Alabama, played football down there. Like not many people, like now, kids now realize that there were these two brothers, two ex-wrestlers that decided to try out football, and made it.
I think it's the other way around. They were footballers that turned into wrestlers.
Hey, while we on this, I thought about something the other day. Did you make that trip to UCLA?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you was on that team.
99,
All right.
98, 99.
Tell them about your story, man. Go ahead. Hit them up with Lee Mack out there in Pasadena.
I got to go deep if I'm.
Go deep, man.
All right,
Look,
just tell him.
okay.
Matthew was born club-footed.
I
Go
was
ahead.
born with club feet, so when I was born, my feet were turned in like that.
Yeah.
So I had to have both, surgeries on both of my feet, multiple surgeries until I was like 2 years old. Anyway, doctors.
Well, they had to go in and break everything, right? He said it. Still in my basement to this day, I've got his
shoes.
Forrest Gump magic shoes, the steel with the made-in boots on the bottom, are hanging in my basement. I look at them all the time.
Why does he have them?
Well,
He bought my parents'
yeah, I moved
house.
into my dad's house.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Took
right.
over
That's
the
right.
homestead, so.
So you just cleaned out, throwing stuff away, and you found them.
No, they've been hanging up for a long
Hanging
time.
up.
Kind of
Like a
they're
relic.
30 years old. They've probably been hanging in the basement 30 years.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was, they kind of thought I'd have trouble all my life. I wouldn't be able to do a whole lot of things. It'd be a struggle for me to play sports, to run, to do anything like that, which was the opposite. I mean, I was, God blessed me with the ability to do some things, and it kind of come full circle. The doctor that did the surgery on my feet was out in Pasadena when we went to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA. So, that was a pretty cool moment.
Well, tell them about when you saw him. It was
What?
it
No,
was a good moment. Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah, who's the doctor?
Think about
Dr.
it.
Donald
He's a little baby, and then
Right.
he was told, or mom and dad were told when he was young that he was probably never going to be able to play sports or run, or so they've got this little gimpy kid laying there, and he can't do nothing. Well, then all of a sudden he starts getting out, doing stuff like I'm sitting in the house playing cars, watching him. He's out there just getting after it in the yard, and then he turns into one of the best athletes to ever come through this school.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the same doctor that's telling mom and dad, hey, he's never going to be able to do anything. He runs face to face. Was it in an elevator?
It was at the team hotel.
Team hotel.
So was he a team doctor?
No, he was just there watching the game. So.
Oh, so he was from. Where'd you have the surgery done at Children's? Where'd you have it done at?
I don't. Maybe Baptist Montclair. Maybe.
So he was from Alabama. He was just out there watching the game, and you run into it.
I'm telling you, had Tom Rinaldi been around, that would have been a Tom Rinaldi
Heck of a
story on
Exactly.
College Game Day.
That's why I'm wanting to push it.
I'm
Yeah.
in for a backup punter.
Like, it was a big moment. Like, he sees this guy, and all of a sudden,
No, it
hey,
was a cool story,
this kid's playing
Yeah.
football for Alabama? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, becomes a great athlete, great quarterback, one of the hardest hitters that ever been around. Hey, and top that off now, you Bryant Jordan scholarship winner. I went to that night.
That's right.
What?
Give it a little speech,
Bryant
Jordan.
It's Jordan. Yeah.
Bryant Jordan scholarship winner.
Jordan.
We can spell it Jerdan if you want to.
I think
He pronounced it
Yeah,
Jordan.
you won that. Yeah.
Or Jerdan.
Okay, for context too, I'm the only Auburn person here. Okay.
This is a welcome change from anything else actual athletics related.
Yeah, me and Coach Cross went to that night. That Bryant Jordan, you won that, made a speech, and then you're in the Hall of Fame here in Sangamon County too. Just got into that.
I was
too.
there that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite an honor.
I flashed him during his speech. He never recovered.
I don't like speaking in a public setting,
Well, you did well. Every time I ever heard you.
He
Done
did a
well.
good job.
Hey, I'll tell you a funny story. I'll break in right here.
Go ahead.
So he's sitting up, like, I've been talking to my brother for weeks and months, really, this is coming up.
Giving the speech.
Hey, Matthew, I've the Lord has pushed me into a role of being able to talk in front of people, and I'm okay with it now.
Yeah.
It really doesn't bother me that. Like, this morning, I sang at church. You know
Yeah.
what? That's a new thing for me, too. But guess what? This guy has never really been a public speaking guy. So, like, for months, he's been freaking out. Well, not really freaking out, but, like, really nervous, about what am I going to say.
More than anything, I just wanted to say the right thing,
Yeah.
And
So,
give credit to the right people.
So when we get there, it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in, shake off the umbrella, walk in. I see my brother, I go give him a hug, like we always do, and I just can tell, he's just so nervous.
Yeah.
And so like he's up there, we're all eating and stuff. He's up there sitting up on the stage, and I look up at him in the middle of Mike Bolton.
Yeah.
So Mike
Yeah.
Bolton's up there
Yeah.
telling his
Yeah.
stories of grandeur about fishing in Alaska with
The president or
Will
whoever.
Chamberlain,
Yeah.
and I was, and so So I catch, and I didn't know because I was sitting so far away from Matthew, but I was hoping that I would catch him. He was way up there, and I was sitting there, and Bolton was up there talking, and so I look at Matthew, and I feel like he saw me, and I did this number right here. And I just see my brother's face just get blood red up there, and he's just like having to look away. I was trying to, get him relax a little bit, but he got up there and gave one heck of a
He did, man.
I'm talking about I was crying, dude. I was just beside myself in tears, man, because like everybody else was talking about this and that, but he just talked about everybody else.
Yeah.
Such a humble speech, humble moment, and like, dude, it brought me to tears.
Well,
man.
I mean, I've never been one to like when people start talking about accomplishments in sports. I'm not gonna do that. But I just wanted to make sure that the people that I loved and supported me, and wanted to make sure they knew in a public setting that I loved them.
Yeah, you got to your mom and dad, and I started crying.
Yeah.
When you got to your parents. I say crying, I just teared up. But
Well, I mean, that's one thing I've seen as a father too. I mean, it just everything starts. You start realizing a lot of things come in full circle.
Yeah.
Well, you realize what the sacrifice, like what it took, right?
It takes a lot.
And just some of the stuff that's kind of unsaid as a and I'm not a parent, but like I can even tell, like as a coach, I mean, you kind of get close to some of these kids, and you do stuff for them, and you don't ever say anything, but it's like, and they don't realize, but that's just a part of it, and that's why it was awesome.
As a kid, you just don't. I mean, I guess I don't know. I've always been a little different. I've thought about that as I was as a kid, but I mean, it's easy to not you just take that part of it for granted, like mom rushing home from work to get to practice and just put all the dots together just to make sure that you're able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Dad sacrificing, just everybody working together to come, to make dreams happen and give an opportunity. So, that's the thing. It's just, and at the time you don't really get to tell them how much you appreciate them and love them.
Yeah.
Well, at the time you don't really realize it either, because you're living your life, you're living your best life at the time.
You're in the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's and if it's just a perfect
Yeah,
opportunity
we're
to make
very
sure you
blessed.
say that.
Yeah, we're very mom and dad when you watch this.
Yeah.
Hey, we love y'all. You're all the world to us, man. Y'all
The
awesome.
best.
Best.
I love y'all, and I'm not related to you.
Yeah. Celebration for family life and love, baby, right here on this podcast.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is like, so you have worked, you've known them since they were knee high to a grasshopper, and you've worked with their dad.
And for him.
And for
With
him.
him and for him, yeah.
My connection is that somehow distantly we are related.
Yeah.
Because the Wilsons and the Sanders
Yeah, we
are so
We are.
intertwined. Somehow we are.
I was thinking about that the other day too, because I don't really know what the connection is, but I know it's there.
It is there, and that I
we-
talked to Dad about it. It was after. Was it after? I think it was after Scott's.
Scott's funeral.
Yeah, Dad and I, because I saw Dad there, and Dad was talking to a bunch of people that I didn't know, and so he and I started talking.
Connection, Evola, and B.
There.
Aren't.
Before Meemaw passed, I sat down with her and we were going over, because then, when Shirley, we were sitting down talking about how everybody's connected, and man, you wouldn't believe just all the family that we have. You, us, you're
In that valley.
all over the place. But yeah, especially in Shoal Creek, all our family's unreal. Just how many people are just everywhere. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and that's one thing too. So for all our listeners in Germany, which I'm going to show you. Look, okay, I know that's been a thing, and I know y'all probably don't believe it. I'll show y'all the thing after the episode. 3% of our audience is from Germany.
I heard y'all talking about that.
I'm dead. I don't know what we got going on in Germany, but there's some German listeners.
While
Yeah.
Sitting around eating schnitzels.
Watching the Sanders boys wrestle.
Yeah, that's something we got to talk about.
Schnitzels and lagers.
Schnitzels and lagers. That's the name of this episode.
There you go.
Schnitzels
It's
and
done.
lagers
It's
with the
done.
Sanders brothers.
Schnitzels and Sanders.
Schnitzels and Sanders.
Saunders.
Sanders Schnitzels. Oh no.
He said, oh, no.
Don't leave me hanging.
Oh, okay. So
Well, before we move on to that, let's make sure we covered like your time here at
Yeah,
Asheville.
yeah.
Because we're kind of going in order in a sense here.
Man, we're
So
gonna make a 3-part series out of this.
and we could almost.
There's a lot to talk about.
So quarterback, punter, went to Alabama. Had major success here with Coach Gross.
In the late 90s.
In the very late 90s, was undefeated in 98.
10-0.
10-0 regular season. 9-1 the very next year, and then we have Mark's senior year, and we went 3-7. So I was a part of that, Mark. I was a part of that, buddy. So
Good leadership, Beast.
oh wow,
No way to really
Hey,
bring
that's
it
also
home.
a knock on my boys, you know, out there.
No,
like
I'm
Scotty and Jason
Man,
and Max
that's
and
totally, yeah.
Adam. Hey, but anyway, no, I mean, look, all right. Well, here's what happened is, okay, so Gross leaves after your senior year, you know, and we get Sutton coming in here, and now we have to install a whole different offense. Now we've been
wing
used to
T.
run and gun, you know, and all of a sudden, boom, now we're
Well, I mean, you know, we think about it, Coach. I mean, we went from running the wing tee to going Kentucky spread, how many spread, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
because at the time, you know, us and Hoover, we went to Kentucky Pass Camp. We put it all in the same summer before my senior year.
yeah, that was fun.
which was cool. It was awesome. But we were able to have some success, and it was fun to run.
Yeah.
Well, we did win the last 3 games of my senior year.
And we had some really good, you know, Mark, and you know had some younger talent on the line. We were pretty big up front.
Yeah.
And especially my junior year, Mark's sophomore year. I mean, Jason Tuhart and Landon, Brandon, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had
a good squad.
we had a good group, man.
Scott
Had a
Cole.
good group. I just
Scott
happened
Cole.
to miss a.
Yeah, I eat down there all the time. All right, most memorable game.
In my mind.
Yeah, high school. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. It's junior year against Spring.
All right, talk about it,
Man.
man.
I mean,
What's your
Go
what's
into
your
detail.
memories on that?
Go into detail.
All right, we'll just have to take it back. I mean, Springville. I mean,
Y'all talked about the Springville Asheville.
We have.
Yeah.
And if you're from this area, you know. Like,
It's serious.
yes.
back in the day,
Hey.
it was way more serious.
I'm going to set this up for you. So Shay Monroe will tell you this to this day. Shay Monroe, Paul Hawk, Barry Simmons, anybody that was on that staff the last time we played Springville at Springville in 2019. Paul Hawk especially will tell you, because Paul was coaching O-line then, like he still is now. He wasn't the OC, but he was O-line coach. He said he's never seen an Asheville football team. And he's seen Asheville football over the years because he's from this area. So he's seen us play before, but he's never seen an Asheville football team play like we played Springville in 2019.
Yeah.
And you were at the 2012 game when we went over there and beat them at their place in 2012, and the stadium was packed out and people were still trying to get in at halftime.
Yep.
We beat them 25-21. But they'll tell you they'll tell you there's something about
It
it.
is different.
And you know, Springville's changed a lot. Asheville hadn't changed as much as Springville's changed as far as the community goes. But you know,
Now during that time period, I think you were gone. You may have been still here, but we had to stop playing them in basketball because of the fights and stuff. Yeah.
right.
During that time
What
period.
did Brandon Looney did he get in the
Yeah, it was Looney and
I think so.
the principal's son down there.
And Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon Harris.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I wasn't coaching them. I remember all that
Right,
going on.
yeah.
But talk about the Springville game,
Okay,
though, because I specifically remember a few things in that game.
Yeah, I imagine.
And Landon was supposed to be here too,
Yeah.
but he couldn't make it. Go ahead.
Well, they had beaten us the year before, which they'd beaten us a couple of years in a row because we kind of had a little, you know, after Probst it was it Sykes that Easley have. Did he have?
Easily right after Probst.
Or Easley, yeah, it was Probst, Easley,
Sykes.
and then Dad hired Gross, and then Gross started getting everything turning around, the morale. You know, that was the big thing. We were so beat down by then, which I was young then, but you could just sense it as a program. You know, you just get beat down. But we started, you know, turning things around, and I think my 10th grade year, we went to Springville, and they beat us 41-7. And I think Corey Wisnat was a sophomore. They were, you know, they had.
Yeah, he would have been a
He
sophomore.
was a sophomore.
Yeah.
He was the same age as me. And J.J. Bird was a junior. They just run it down our throats, man.
Strong
just
team, man.
absolutely just pounded us, run it down our throats. We couldn't do nothing with them, and they enjoyed it. You know, they really liked just pounding us, and really we couldn't do anything about it. We couldn't stop them, and I think they might have put one in late on us too, if I'm not mistaken. But which I mean on a 41-7 game, that's not too horrible. But anyway, so they come, 98 rolls around, and we got a good squad, man. We got some bruisers up front. We got some skill. We got Jason playing quarterback. Fantastic job, senior. You know, probably one of the better athletes come to this school too. Jason Tuart, fantastic man. We
No bones.
Bones, man. But we'd won our first 2 games. We beat Aniana in a
Overtime.
Overtime here. Aniana was a pretty good football team that year. Beat them in overtime here. It was an intense game. Everybody feeling good. Played Moody here the next game. Beat them pretty good. And we had Springville coming here the 3rd week of the year. And I mean, it was
Where were they ranked?
They were ranked 3rd, I think,
Yeah,
2nd or 3rd.
They were great.
No, they were
Sean
on
Carter
a.
was on that team.
They were, yeah, he was.
I think they went to the semis that year, didn't they?
About Sean Carter. If you want to
Oh yeah, baby. Because Sean Carter's coaching at Asheville now.
I know he is.
He's an Asheville Bulldog now.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, so we go into that week of practice. I mean, it's business, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has got a mat on, and I mean, I can't really remember, but Coach Murphree may back it up. But I think we had a really good week of practice that week. I think everybody was pretty focused in, and we knew it was going to be a battle. I mean, and they come in here to Asheville. I mean, that was probably, golly, I don't know. I mean, I want to say looking around the track.
78,000.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. Maybe 4 or 5 deep on the track all the way around.
Yeah.
The stands were packed.
I was there.
At least 10 deep.
At least 10, 12, 15 deep, you know. But it was intense, man. I mean, it was just an intense environment. It kind of electric environment, and it was a physical football.
Yeah, I think it was the hardest hitting game I've ever been involved in.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to get you to do is talk about.
I'm not gonna-
on the
I mean,
sideline.
okay.
Man. Hey, look,
Just, you can go ahead and talk about hitting
it was a
bird.
great moment in history.
I mean,
'Cause I was involved in that too.
Not only was it a great moment in history, it was so good that on the highlight film it got the replay. Ba-boom.
Over and over again.
Ba-boom.
What do you remember about hitting bird over on the sideline?
stars.
Now he's running down the sideline, our sideline.
God rest his soul, Brother Julius, picking me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaking me.
Good job.
Now I thought you had knocked him out then.
I think we were both knocked out. And then Jason run him off the sideline over there, and I think he went.
Now he what? Was he knocked out? Did we knock him
We
out?
knocked him out of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, he had to leave in a.
But yeah,
Well, no.
Heath
Somebody broke the. Who was it? The
Stillbinder.
Stillbinder. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they had to take him to the hospital after the game. They pulled the ambulance up and got Bird.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
got hurt that game,
I got-
and Bill got hurt.
Sean
Both
Carter-
for our
Sean
linebackers.
Carter cut blocked me.
No, Sean. It was Sean that did that to you. Sean's
Me
never
and
told me
Sean
that.
going back and forth all game, man. I played
Seriously?
Sam linebacker. He was playing tight end, so he was just
Yeah.
blocking me. You know, we were going at it for. Well, I mean, I didn't make it through the second quarter, and then he cut blocked me.
Yeah, it was after the hit.
You and Bill
Sprained
both.
my MCL.
Yeah, you
Bill sprained
knees,
his, yeah.
knees. Now I was so mad about this. I don't know if you know that this happened, but I was so mad about that. I mean, I was ready to fight.
Yeah, no, it was
About y'all's
was-
knees.
It was angry. Yeah.
Okay, I was ready.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have
see
took
some anger
much.
coming out.
It wouldn't have took
I
much. But do you know that I didn't shake Curry's hand? Do you
Good
know?
for you, man.
Well, look, I stuck. At the end of the game, we were in a line.
Sportsmanship has gone out the window.
I
Hold
pulled.
it.
He had his hand out. I shouldn't have done it, but I just pulled back and walked on by.
Yeah.
And he cussed me. He said, "I don't want to shake your blank hand anyway."
Yeah.
And I just walked on.
Good.
And
It wouldn't took much.
You worked with the guy that took him out of the game.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Hey, but now he does.
Now there's bad blood.
Bad blood.
Yeah, it's worse.
It's like
now.
a get him a
I
good
mean, I don't know if
pay-per-view.
Sean remembers it, but he knows. I mean, he got the best of me one time. I know. I was trying to turn to go to the play, and he was on me, and he just dump trucked me and rolled up on me, and
He talks about that game all the time because we beat them,
yeah.
and then we played. Was it
Locust
Fort
Locust Fort.
in the first round and lost, and they beat them.
Yeah, I missed the extra point.
They would. No way.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not even fun to talk about. It was.
Hey, why couldn't we win the first round? Besides that, I mean, I didn't lose the game. Why couldn't we win the first
Was it
round?
at Locust
2 years?
Fort?
No, it was here. We were first, we were the number 1 seed.
98 and 99.
Yeah, 2 years
I mean,
in a
why do you
row.
think we couldn't win the first round?
I don't know, man.
It was somebody that put some kind of voodoo spell on us. Is what it was.
I don't know.
Because Fulton was the other one.
Yeah.
Fulton was the other one. So they had a really good quarterback, Brandon Oswald. I mean,
Yeah.
He was an athlete running around making plays, and we weren't.
Oh, we weren't ready.
defensively.
Yeah.
My senior year, we were. My junior year,
Did you straight kick?
no.
You soccer kicked
I
it?
taught myself how to soccer stuff. But let's go back to the.
He'd boot the hell out of a ball,
I'll
though,
talk
when he
about the
punted.
Talk about the bird hit.
Because it is, man. It was one of the. I mean, I love it. I mean, I love contacts. So why wouldn't I love that? You know. Well, we had scored to go. What was it? Was it 7-7 maybe? I mean, it was early. We might have went up 7-0. I don't know. I think Jason. I forget how we scored. Anyway, I know we
With
kicked
good
off.
reason, apparently.
I kicked off to them, kicked it down to about the 7 or so, maybe something like that. And I'm just playing safety as kickers do on kickoff.
Yeah.
And just just laying back, and I see him break it, man. I'm like, oh god, I'm going. So I start. I just run a 40-yard dash through his head.
Yeah, it was. Hey, no, he was running up the sideline. Matthew was coming at this angle. It was like a car crash.
So
Like a T-bone.
That happened last season with our kicker.
Yeah.
Grayson made several of those.
Yeah.
And they had some great backs too. Whistnat, he was on that team. He was player of the year next year. And 3 they had some great backs.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And their line, I mean, they were so big up front. I mean, they had Avery House, and then they
Yeah,
had Ryan
yeah,
Newman,
Avery.
DeMarco.
Yeah. Nick Roberts.
Well, Nick played for him.
Yeah,
young.
he was younger, yeah.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah,
him.
God bless. God rest him, man.
Wonderful guy.
Awesome dude.
But yeah, it was just intense, man. I mean, that hit kind of, I don't know if that hit really set the stage for the rest of the game or what, but it was just.
I think it did.
I know that I hit him, we both hit, and we fly parallel out of bounds.
On the home sideline?
Oh, yeah.
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 And it
was nasty.
What'd
the crowd do?
Howling nuts.
Yeah, everybody was going nuts. It was wild.
Where were you when that happened?
On the sideline, where I was all season.
So how did you react to that?
Oh, I mean, my brother.
That's my brother!
I was going crazy, man. Because, I mean, I still had milk on my breath, like I was.
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
You want to eat the ball cereal?
No, I'm fresh off the memory, you know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, me and some of the guys were, the guys who weren't.
Aaron,
The guys who weren't, matured enough to get out there and give a lot of help, like we were on the sideline trying to, my role, we were the hype guys, man, and I took pride in that. So when you made that hit out of bounds, I was right there, man. I was going crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. But
And
anyway,
me and Ryan Coleman got in a lot of trouble that year too.
What, for shenanigans on the side?
Well, all right. So at the time, you got to think this is '98 or '90. Yeah,
98.
Yeah, okay. Well, so
Fall 98.
you got to think this is the Raw as War era,
Oh, yeah.
the Attitude Era of wrestling.
Degeneration X.
Hey, so
Here we go.
Clint, I know you remember me and Monster Tag doing
All day. All day. The whole DX thing on the
kickoff
side.
counts. What I mean. Hey, that's the way we started every game until Gross put the X on it because we were people were
vulgar,
complaining.
man.
It was vulgar,
Hell,
people were complaining, and
Bunch of rebels.
yeah. But we didn't see it that way. It was just it was
It's
part
fun.
of it was part of culture at the
Yeah.
time, we were. But it was great. It was fun.
Good stuff.
But we were the hype guys, yeah.
So anyway, we go on, and that was probably one of the most epic games up here.
Didn't we come back? Didn't we come back to
Yeah,
win?
we come back. Jason hit Jake Neal in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
And scored.
Now, so you lived it, you coached it. Give us kind of your perspective on number one, the hit, but number two, the whole game. Because
Well,
I've
I
heard
think
this story, but I want you to give it with them here.
We'll listen to Triple Threat later. Buy Triple Threat later. But it was
buy triple 99
purchase
cents.
Triple Threat. You hear all about it. But I think that's the best game I've ever been involved in. Is that one up there? Now, the biggest win. I don't think that's the biggest
No,
win
not the
ever.
biggest win.
But I think that's the best game I've ever
Best
been.
game.
I know it's the hardest hitting
Yeah,
game
it
I've ever
was-
been
it was
involved
wild.
in.
It was wild.
Now don't forget that Landon makes that catch over on the
No,
sidelines.
Landon on one-handed, yeah.
Yeah, on the sideline. Now who scored to win again? Who scored?
Oh, Jake.
Jake,
I guess.
Yeah.
Jake.
Remember Jake played?
Yeah.
Jake played out of his mind that night. He
Yeah.
blocked a punt. Just sat. I think he had a sack or two, and Had a couple touchdowns, and it was nuts.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
crazy.
speaking of blocking
It was
punts,
crazy.
I'll say this because this is the only time I ever scored in my life. Well, scored. Wow, man, it was the next year.
How many kids do you have?
Yeah. I'm bad to differ, my friend.
This just got X-rated. But anyway, oh man, you just got it right there. But no, anyway, so it was. I don't remember who we were playing the next year, but me and Nick Dewey's, like I punched this hole up. We were on defense. And whoever we were playing was punting, and I busted this hole up, and Nick Dewey's right there with me. We're side by side, running at that punter. We both go up.
Look like Mr. Larson running.
Thank you. Give me his jacket. That's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Hey, I dressed like him at a Halloween party.
Did you?
Hey,
With a nail and everything?
hard hat with a nail in it. With the guns don't kill people, I kill people shirt. It was great.
Thank you.
But anyway, it was funny. But anyway, so like the ball went back in the end zone, and I just see it, and I'm like, I can score points. You know, like, I'm getting a touch, and I jumped on it, and I slid out of the back of the end zone. I got 2 points for the safety, but yeah.
Could've been.
Y'all remember Nick Dewey's picking out somebody on kick?
Oh, that was the best.
That was
freaking.
Yeah,
That was
and
the
then
best.
we were supposed to be running a wedge return, and he just
he
picked
just-
some. It seemed like that was against Spring.
Dude, he was a.
I meant to ask him about that the other day. I saw him the other day. Because Nick's like, hey, every time I see him, hey Nick, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Not on that football field.
Hey,
he was.
Yeah, it
switch
was
on him,
crazy.
man.
He's all that headgear on.
Hey, that Joker, he'd come out of the game with the blood on his nose.
Yeah, he's hard nosed.
That helmet would go down and crack his nose. He'd be bleeding all the time, man.
He had a bad break too, man. He tore his ACL our senior year.
Yeah.
I hated that for him.
Yeah, we was watching it on film. Like, what's he doing?
Yeah,
he just picked somebody
he
out.
just- hey, I ain't worried
It was
about the wedge.
effective.
I'm gonna
Hey,
knock one out.
He got his
I
guy.
ain't gotta worry
He
about
got
one
his
of them.
guy.
Yeah.
I want to say I saw him do it twice in one.
Oh, he was nasty.
I don't know.
But after that Springville game, though, man, after we won, the clock ticked 0. Man, it was like we'd won the Super Bowl up here, man. That was insane.
What was the celebration like after?
Oh, we stayed outside the field house for an hour at least.
Just talking.
Everybody, the whole community was out.
Yeah.
Hey, not only that, I spent the night with Tim Davis that night. And that was the formation of the band Live Bait. All right, because this is how it went down. Me and Tim were so pumped up, dude. We were recording videos in his den, and like
So you would have been a freshman,
I
right?
was a
98?
sophomore.
Sophomore.
He
Okay,
was
they
a
were a freshman. All right.
yeah. And so I spent the night with him. We were in there just cutting up. We had his video camera out. We were in there like wrestling, like videoing ourselves. Like he started playing Rick James Super Freak, and I was dancing, doing this thing, and I hit the moonwalk on him. He thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And then we ended up like messing around, like jumping on the trampoline, like wrestling, and then all of a sudden like we're like, hey, let's just sleep outside tonight.
Yeah.
And so we go to sleep out there and wake up halfway through the night just covered in dew. You know?
Yeah.
And that was the.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Well, I can't say the name of the song because at the
Yeah.
time, like it was me, Joel Cash, Adam Bowles, Tim Davis. We formed a band called Live Bait, and we had 2 songs. One of them was about dew on a certain body part, and the other one was about Chris Farley's character Matt Foley from Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
Band Down by the River, which Matthew used to love. He used to jam out to that one. But
Yeah,
that was it.
that was a good one.
Yeah, it
That was
was good
definitely my
stuff.
favorite.
Live Bait.
I liked them both, though, man. They were quality.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
We
restaurant.
went to a
I mean,
studio
I've
and
heard-
recorded a CD.
I've heard
We're
songs
recording-
on the radio that wouldn't be worthy of those 2 songs.
There's a
Yeah.
There's a place down in Orange Beach called Live Bait. Live Bait should get back together and play at Live Bait.
Live Bait.
Live Bait at Live Bait.
Summer of 2024.
8, 4,
Let's go 4. I think
20,
that's
summer of
cool.
2024.
You know,
A
we
year
got-
and a half.
Get Davis to move back to the east.
You can get Davis to fly in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think y'all need a whole lot of rehearsal time. Do
You
you?
know, Bowles is in Georgia. And,
Bowles can make it happen.
Yeah.
Live Bait at Live Bait.
Yeah.
The 20th anniversary tour.
But you know, once the Steve Gregerson band formed, you know, Live Bait fizzled out. You know.
Yeah.
We were a breath of air.
Yeah.
Just flowing in from the east.
Second fiddle.
Live Bait was the only one to cut a demo tape, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah, they didn't
Steve
have a demo.
Gregerson band.
They did the talent
Yeah,
show
we didn't
here,
play
and
at our wedding,
they
though.
played a wedding
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I know
Played in your
that.
wedding.
Yeah, we didn't play at a wedding. We did embarrass our parents a little bit. With a song.
With the songs? Was it just the 2 songs?
Just the 2 songs.
Man, what I would give to listen to those.
I
2
know.
songs.
Oh,
We can make it happen because they're on the CD.
Yeah.
Can we make that happen?
We can make it happen.
Oh, I got, especially the one with the do.
Oh,
Got to hear the do, man. Okay,
that
so
Well, I mean, and just classic like song structure, chord progression stuff. I mean, it sounds great. It's fantastic.
what?
I mean, it's good stuff.
I agree. I concur.
In my mind right now, I'm like, man, that was a hit.
Yeah,
So,
man. we wrote that.
I feel like Bruce Dickinson.
we wrote that the next day.
You know, like,
Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah, me and Tammy, we wrote that the next day on a notepad, man. We wrote it down. And
Did you have the music in your mind as you were writing the lyrics, or did
no,
the melody
I think,
come later?
I think we got because Joel was playing drums and then Bowles was he was learning
he
the
was on
guitar.
yeah.
So Adam came in and laid down like a little guitar, a little strum on it, you know. And so we
Something
kinda
simple
built
because he's
up-
new.
Yeah.
Tim was pretty good guitar.
He later on, he started learning. That's kind of when he started learning. Yeah, it's good times.
Now, what are y'all's favorite memories with this guy?
Oh man.
Specific.
Go ahead and tell them about the licks every day. That's a funny one. That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we, which he don't remember, but I mean, there was a few of us in there that like to talk in homeroom in the mornings, you know, and then he always sit down, shut your mouth, watch Channel 1.
Channel 1 News
Channel
every
1
morning.
News every morning. They play. We had to sit down and shut up and watch Channel 1, you know, and do homeroom and go on, you know. So there was a couple of us that, you know, he's like, you know, if you talk, you know, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a lick and you can talk. So there was like a couple of us that, I mean, it may not have happened every morning, but there was a couple of times. We'd get our lick, we'd sit there and talk, everybody else had to shut up.
That's education right there.
Hey, that's
We
how
go
it
out
ought to be
there,
done,
let's
right?
That's America
let's go
right
get
there,
it over
yeah.
with, and I think you might have hit your shoe a couple times.
It's possible.
Yeah, and then
Maybe,
go for work,
possibly.
I reckon, yeah.
you
But,
hit your shoe with me a couple times when I was in class.
Man, there's a lot of memories with Murph, man. I mean, we pretty much grew up with Murph, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have like so many that just stand out. It's like an everyday living experience. You know, he's a part of your life.
Do you have a
man.
playlist of just memories you like to cycle through?
It's just
It's harder as you get older.
Yeah.
It is. But I got a good one.
no. I mean, I would say just you know, I think more than anything, just the reaction, to just about everything that happened every day. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got some great reactions.
It's just, I will say this though, life would not be the same without David Murphy.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Well, I believe the millions of people listening to
In my
this podcast right now.
experience.
Dozens and dozens.
Yeah.
And the 3% in Germany.
Yes.
The future millions.
In my experience at Asheville High School was just incredibly just
Do you want-
magnified. And just,
I got a funny story. You want me to tell it?
because of David Murphy. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This is one of the many reasons, though. You know, we had a good time up here. But
Yeah, but
All right, so I'll tell this
He
story.
brought the color, man.
I've been waiting to tell this story because this was
is
really
gonna be good.
funny, and it involved the whole class. So all right, when we were in Murph's class, like because I had known him for so long, it was so hard for me to like really.
Separate, yeah.
I loved Alabama history. I love history, but it was hard for me to see Murph as
Teacher.
He's giving me information about Civil War stuff, you know. Which I listened, I loved it, but anyway, I was always trying to find a way to get him to cut up.
I did learn my Alabama counties because of Coach Murphy.
Yeah, we had to recite them counties. But anyway, so one day, I don't know why we got to this point in class, but for some reason we come in and there is like a red ball of yarn, just a red ball of yarn in his class on his desk. I don't know why.
That was for the current events Christmas tree that your class made.
Okay, there we go. Boom. Mystery
Current
solved.
events.
Mystery solved. Okay, so I don't know. At some point in class, when he was done teaching, we started talking about the yarn, and the subject got brought up of like, how do I think that I was man enough, if tied down to your desk, to bust out of the yarn? And I was like, well, it's yarn. Of course I can, you know? So the whole class is in on it. Everybody thinks this is the grandest idea ever. Murph cleans his desk off. I literally lay down on it like I'm in my casket up there, like this. Well, not like this, you know. So they start, I think Bowles and like some, maybe Alex Taylor. You know,
Yeah, it's Alex Taylor.
who
It's
we
Boner.
refer to as Boner. Look, he's never been Jonathan Alex Taylor.
Yeah.
He's always
I
been
couldn't.
Boner.
I
And it's
never
everybody
could
else.
get him to come to the board for some reason. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time.
Good, man. Hey, that's what makes him great.
So anyway, so I'm up there laying on his desk, all right, and they start just rapping me, like passing it from one person to the next over me, and I'm laying on his desk, They're passing it, just rapping me. Well, then he's like, all right, y'all done now? It looks about done right now, you know. And I was like, he's like, all right, see if you can get up, big boy. And so I start trying to get up, and I'm like, oh crap, I can't get up. And I'm like wiggling. I'm like, oh crap, I can't get out of this, you know. And then Murph, without missing a beat, turns in class like, all right, everybody, come on, let's go to lunch.
Yeah, we turned the lights off and went to lunch.
Hey, man, I'm laying there on the desk. I'm like, you ain't serious, are you? And I'm laying there on his desk. I'm like, come on, man, because my head was back like towards the door. And I'm like, hey, man, y'all serious? Don't leave in here. And so the whole class gets up, man. Everybody's laughing, having a good old time. And
Now that's
leaves,
education.
turns the lights out, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And when I say they're gone, they don't come back. They don't come back.
They went to
They
lunch.
went to lunch and left me tied on his desk. And like 10 minutes later, like a couple of my buddies come down there laughing their tails off. You know, they had already been up there, got their plates, sat them down, and came back through the school and came untied and like cut me up.
Was that 8th grade or 9th grade? Because you were in 8th grade here at the high school.
Yeah.
Now, you
That's
know,
probably 9th.
when he was in 8th grade, Alabama history, whatever class that was, you know, we had 44 people in that class.
That's a lot.
When
my
it was
gosh.
44 in there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. When you were in 8th grade. Now, that yarn, you know, remember we made that tournament trip? We went outside and just got that old pine tree about 3 lengths, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, Charlie Brown did. Yeah.
And just put it in a bucket with some gravel and let y'all cut out and make
Right.
That's why I had that yarn.
Right.
Because y'all making ornaments with the Newsweek
Yeah,
magazines.
with the magazines.
To hang on. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it
why
was
I
a
had
beautiful
that.
tree.
It was
Yeah.
It was dual purpose, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, it was an informative tree.
One half yarn informative tree, the other half torture big fat guy on the desk.
I'll take the latter, thank you.
So before we move too far on about you had mentioned paddlings.
Yeah.
We had our 20-year class reunion just last night. For context for the story, and Travis Davies was there, and he was telling a story about how he had the worst paddling of his life from Miss Sanders down here. He said that she lit him up. Well, Heather DeWeese was there, and she said, you know, we weren't supposed to watch if anybody was getting a paddle. We were supposed to go to the next hall and kind of get out of eyesight. She said she turned around and said that you were getting a paddling from Miss Carroll, and said that she whipped you so hard. No, not at the same time.
A different occasion.
Just a different occasion. But she said that she kind of peeked around and said Miss Sanders reared back and got you one good time, and said that's all it took. Said you took off running and ran to the office and locked yourself in your dad's office and wouldn't come back out. I'm just.
I don't know a lot of stuff. I don't know. I believe it.
And there's a couple others, but I'm not going to tell them here. That'll probably be a triple threat.
Okay.
Yeah. So just
Guys, if you hadn't figured it out yet, y'all need to go ahead and subscribe to Triple Threat. 99 cents a month. You're going to get some great stories that we can't tell on normal episodes.
So
Yeah.
before we go too much further, do we need to double check our time and make this a 2-part episode, or
No, we're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
we're good.
All right, let's do
We're
it
good.
then.
That's
So
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that excites me.
Hey, whatever it takes, my friend.
So I want to know. Tell us about what it was like. You know, going. You played ball here. What about wrestling?
No, that's after college.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't even been through.
Well, do we want to talk about college first?
I don't care. I'm
There
just.
was a lot of stuff, you know.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, now we got to think. Wrestling was in 06. We started wrestling in 06.
Okay.
Now we still got, you know, since he graduated in 2000, like, that's 5 years right there.
So
we got a
he
lot to talk about.
he goes down there first. You go after because you're the youngest.
I think it's 6 years, but okay.
Oh,
Tomato. Tomato.
I graduated in May of 01. May of 01.
I got you.
And we started wrestling in latter summer to fall of 06.
That's
Well,
5
you
years.
said
That's 5 years.
2000. I'm
Okay.
just saying.
So, so you both go to Bama.
Yeah.
You both play ball
Well,
down
we go
there.
at separate times.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
years
you're
apart.
you're down there together at one point, right?
No, we're not.
Well, we were.
For a short period of time, right?
I mean,
Well, this is how it went down.
yeah.
He goes down and is punting, you know, gets to go, you know, live it up, you know, before I got there. And, you know, and really it was pretty cool because every time I would come on recruiting visits, I got to go hang out with my brother and all his buddies. And So I got to just meet everybody, got to work out with the team, and then when he decided he was going to go play baseball at Wallace State in Huntsville, I was on my way, and he was there for a very short amount of time. While I got there and moved into the dorm, he was still living in an apartment, so we didn't get much time together, but we got a little bit.
You were in the same city for a hot second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then you transfer out, he comes in.
Yeah, I went to go play baseball.
Oh, you went on the
We had
mound,
the whole
right?
regime change, new base
Yeah.
leaving, and Franchione coming in, and I was just ready. I kind of wasn't.
Matthew didn't want to be a punter.
Yeah, there you go.
My brother was a headhunter and a lead quarterback in high school. He was a leader. He was never used to being in that role of punter.
I was sick of going to the indoor practice facility where everybody else was outside.
Hell, all he wanted to do was go play linebacker and go hit people.
Yeah, so I weighed a couple of things. I was going to go transfer out and go actually play football. I talked to Jay Neal at the time. I was going to go to Gardner Webb maybe and go up there and maybe try out and do some other things, but I just decided I want to go play baseball, so I went to Wallace Huntsville and played, which that was a good experience too.
Yeah, you made it to the JUCO World Series, right?
Yeah.
Colorado?
Pitched a lot.
Pretty
I was
sweet.
a closer.
Now, before we move off of it too far, we've talked a lot of football here at Asheville.
Yeah.
We were really good in baseball at the time too. We
absolutely.
eventually got to
Are
the
you kidding?
State
got
championship.
state championship 2003, but we were right there in it the whole
Which
time.
I was also a hop guy on that squad.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, man.
And I chased a lot of foul balls, but I was
Yep.
the best foul ball chaser you ever saw.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
No, we had a wonderful run in baseball, man. And I guess, Dad hired Todd Mixon. Mixon had played at Jack State and played with Todd Jones at Jack State. He was their catcher, and he was a baseball guy, man. He come in there and laid a foundation that was just unbelievable. Fundamentally wise, we did some really good things, man, in my junior year, which was a good year here at Asheville, 98, 99 year.
And went to go down to Mobile, right?
Yeah, we had to go play UMS Wright for the state championship.
But that wasn't
They were-
Mixon that went to Mobile. That was,
No, Mixon left.
It was Ronnie, wasn't
the
it?
year before.
Yeah, that was Tucker.
Ronnie Tucker.
Yeah, and Tucker got the job and he had played at UAB. He was a pitcher. He knew his stuff too.
Well, he was lanky. He could
Yeah,
sling a ball,
he could
man.
sling it,
Good
man.
grief.
I took a date one day though.
I just thought of this. Funny story. The 98 year. Do you remember the day when we were out here hitting? And I'm up the plate.
I remember you hitting one out.
I was a scrub, man. I was baseball. I played it my whole
You could have
life.
been good though, but you were too busy when you were young, hiding toy cars in your glove and playing with them in the dirt
I had
instead of
some
playing
great,
baseball.
I had some great outfield races out there. In that but anyway, so there one day Brandon Brown's like, Big Brown wanted me just to, really yank one. He's like, Mark, if you hit a home run right here, I swear I will eat a worm. And just as sure as he said it, I'm like, boom, and I destroy one over the left field fence, and the whole team just like, yes.
Yeah.
And so we go find a worm, and sure enough, Brandon Brown downs that worm.
Yeah.
And he had the worst case of diarrhea of all time. From what he told us, anyway.
The worm story.
worm
That is awesome, man. The worm story.
That was a good one.
The whole Josh Kales told me some really interesting stories about that baseball squad that went down to play UMS Wright. And what's crazy is now I've had the pleasure to get to know Terry Curtis, who's the head football coach and AD down there.
Okay.
And he's been at UMS Wright for forever. I don't know if you know Terry or
yeah.
not. He's a great dude. He's got a lot of cool stories. But that was the setting of the exit only story, correct?
Yeah. That was it. Baseball trip. Quick trip. 2 games.
It was, yeah. It was
So
quick.
we had plenty of time on our hand later that evening.
Yeah,
so,
we weren't really comfortable down there.
Yeah.
I remember we went out for warm ups. We took infield first, for the game. We're like,
And then we
feeling
saw the
good
pros
about
get up.
ourselves. And then they get out there, and we're like, what?
Yeah, it was
They had some good pitching.
that was a
They
fun
were
trip.
good,
We got to
man.
go to Spanish Fort. Went down to the.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great
we
trip,
rented
man.
the Southern Comfort bands.
Remember we
played
saw a certain.
PlayStation all the way down.
We did,
That
and
was
we
fantastic.
saw a certain news reporter that's living in a different area now, laying by the pool with his shirt off, and it was a complete bear fest out there, just covered in hair. Stan J. Remember Stan?
You remember Stan?
That was funny.
Stan, man.
Oh.
Stan the man. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Hey, man. Oh, that was the greatest. I missed that guy.
God. So
So anyway, I didn't mean to bust off from the. I just wanted everybody to kind of know in
baseball.
context
We were
baseball.
good.
No,
I wasn't. Y'all were. But yeah.
Dubose, Franchione.
Oh yeah.
Who's next?
Oh, I was done. Mark took up.
Shula.
Washington
Yeah,
State.
Price
Shula.
brought his career.
And then Shula.
Shula. Then
We had Price.
Saban-
We
Saban
had
was
Price
off
for a few months.
who all did you play for? Oh, no.
All of them.
He was recruited.
Who was your
Saban.
offensive line coach?
Well, man, I don't want to cry. Jim Bob Helldozer, man. He was man, one of the most influential people in my life at the time. He passed away, I want to say 2008 or 9, I think, from he got cancer. But but anyway, him, and then I don't want to taint the podcast with my memories of the next coach, but the next coach that came along, that came with Price from Washington State, he really taught me how not to be. I think when it came to me becoming a coach, like Jim Bob Helldozer laid the foundation of this is how you need to be as a coach. You know, like when I thought back on it when I started coaching, like loving your players, pushing them to their limits, but really loving them up. You know, like being a part of their lives.
Was that when Franchione was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he came with Franchione and from TCU. Anyway, so but then the next guy that came along taught me how not to be a coach because he was the world's worst, and me and him did not get along. And it was really the only coach that in my entire life that I think I ever disrespected because he just pushed me to my limit my senior year, and we were like at practice one day, and I just pretty much told him what I thought about him.
Well, it can be bad. You took
Yeah.
a lot to make it through that. You know.
Yeah, it was a lot.
through
We
stuff
went through
like
a
that.
lot. We did.
You know, you don't have to say stuff and treat people like that to get out of them either.
No.
No,
I don't
because
think.
it became, you know, we went from one coach who cared about us to another guy who was all about, hey, if you don't do this right, you know, my family ain't going to eat. You know, it's all about my family and me getting a paycheck. And, you know, I was like, listen here, man. Like,
Don't put
this
your
ain't about
problems
you,
on
pal.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, no, but when I was there, we went through some great time. I mean, my freshman, sophomore years, we had Fran, and he was really, I think, probably the most like Saban when I look at coaches throughout the history. Like, you know how Saban is, like accountability, doing the right things, being where you need to be, you know, always doing your best. Well, that's the way Fran was. Like,
Yeah, he had it together.
like always on top of you, make sure, and you know, and the proof was like the first year we went 7-5, I think, and played in the Independence Bowl against Iowa State. My redshirt freshman year, the next year we went 10-3, I think, and we were, if we had not been on probation, we were going to be SEC West champs, play for the SEC championship, but that didn't pan out so well. But we did get to go to Hawaii, and that was awesome. Trip of a lifetime.
The only thing I remember from Franchione was Shawd Williams smoke draw. That's all I remember.
Hey.
And it worked. Hey, it worked. I'm not saying anything about it.
Hey, you want to know the name of that play?
Yes, I would love to know the name of that play. Please tell me it's just smoke draw.
Shawd Williams smoked draw.
No, it was a play. We just called it.
One smoke draw.
Hold on. Why did you do smoke like this?
I
Not
don't
like
know. Don't
this.
worry about it.
But anyway, no, it was just 55, man.
55, double nickel.
Yeah.
It's easy to call.
55. 55.
55.
And so basically, no, the line, it was honestly like one of the most genius draws I ever drew up because like all the offensive line did was just we snapped the ball, everybody just turned. Okay, we just turned, and if somebody came across our face, we just took them and ran them that way.
So it's like punt.
Yeah, and that was it. And whoever didn't have somebody, they went up to linebacker, and then it
Yeah.
just busted this huge seam open. Like we just run guys out of the way, and then boom, he was off to the races.
Wow.
Yeah.
You played with
Against
Shula too,
against
right?
Saban.
Yeah.
You played
Yeah.
with Shula.
Yeah, 3 years with Shula. Yeah, it was
So
fun.
how many? So you went through. 4?
Well, all right. So
Four
when
in a red
Matthew
shirt.
got recruited and got signed to Bama, they saw me with him and were like, "Holy crap! Look at this huge
Sasquatch.
human, this Sasquatch over here." And so so like they started recruiting me out, and I went to football camp there between my junior and senior year, and during the summer, and then like Dubose called me when I got back home and was like, hey, I want you to come play for us. We saw what you did. We think we can build you into a great player. You got tools, you got fast feet, hands, whatever. And I was like, okay, all right, it's the greatest feeling of all
Like,
time.
cut the crap, Mike. You gonna offer me or not?
No, as he did. He offered me a scholarship over the phone. And but what really sucked is when Dubose got fired, I was like, well, crap, man, I might not have a spot there anymore. But then, like, it was one day, Mal Moore called me on my phone. And I just remember,
called you.
Mal Moore called me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm at home. Mal Moore calls me.
Playing PlayStation.
I was at the Chevron.
I remember.
on McFarland when Dubose got fired. Me and Alonzo E. from
Oh, really?
pumping gas together. And we were like, you just hear that? Like,
Gas was
he's out here,
$1.50 a
man.
gallon.
Oh, man. Yeah, but I remember being in the living room at the house, and I remember getting a call on the phone, and I just hear this gruffled voice. Oh, hey, Mark. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. Hey, Mark. Hey, this is Mal Moore. And I was like, oh, shoot, okay. So, I was like, hey, Coach, how are you, man? So we started talking. He's like, hey, I just, want to let you know that we hate everything that's gone down, but we still want you to play for the University of Alabama. And I was like, oh, yes. So it was pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the great thing about Mal Moore, man, I remember coming in after every game, and he was always standing right there ready to greet us, and like would talk to us about our families, like, man, just people like
Great
that.
guy, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Great
dude.
guy.
And that's I may be an Auburn guy, but that's a guy who you talk about, you just respect no matter where you're from, who you root for. Like, that's a guy that just for the game, for any game, really, just college athletics.
Oh,
That's
he
the
was,
guy.
He was one of a
you
kind,
know?
for sure.
Yeah.
He was one of a kind. It was awesome.
Yeah, University of Alabama. They for him to do everything that he did down there, and from what I'm not an Alabama guy, but from what I've heard, people that I've worked with at Auburn say about him and things that he would do for Auburn people.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah,
you know?
he was just a classy dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you wore crimson or orange and blue. Like, he was just classy.
Now, how many national championship rings has he got? He's got 5 or 6.
Well, he played, coached,
Yeah.
administrator.
And he was with Bear.
ton.
No, I'm talking about just when he was coaching. Right? Or it might have been when he was at.
That was a lot, I'm
I
sure.
mean, he was there a long
Probably
time.
4 or 5. I think.
Because he
I
was
don't
there when
know the number.
Stallings. He was offensive coordinator when Stallings was there too. So I mean, would he have won with Bear Bryant?
4 at least.
I mean, so he's got 5 or 6 just as a coach,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
But anyway, so we once you want to hear a story about Franchione leaving?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
Now,
Hold
this-
the rope. Hold the rope, gentlemen. Hold the
So I'm
rope.
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So okay, so like I said,
Hey, just
Fran.
get it all out, Mark.
Fran was big on us being accountable for each other, right? Didn't go so much for him being accountable to us, okay? And I don't care, Coach Fran. If you ever watch this, let me tell you something, man.
Here we go.
He can't do it.
I'm not that kind of guy. But anyway,
Just let it go, Mark.
okay, so I just I remember I just remember how much we poured into that. Man, we were working so hard. I had never been as strong as I was at that time. Like, we had Ben Pollard was our strength coach, and he was just pushing us, man. And I remember my sophomore or my redshirt freshman year, me benching like 415, just wow, and I was just like, I was ready to go. I was in there, and with some of my older guys, they were benching like 500. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to 500 eventually,
But you're 18. You're a redshirt freshman. 18, 19.
Well, it was my second year, so I was
19,
probably 19.
yeah.
Yeah, I was a young cat, but anyway. So we're about to get off the bus from Hawaii our second year. Sanctions are on. The week that we played Auburn that year in 2002, God, I can't remember what we lost that game. We were really good. But we lost that game versus Auburn because that week during practice, like, everybody was talking about, like, y'all hear, like Coach Fran, like, I think he's gonna leave us, Like, everybody was talking about it. Coach Fran's leaving us, And he had been pushing us I'm talking about, we have 100 guys standing in the team meeting room, all holding one rope, going around, and he's preaching to us about unity and like having each other's back and holding that rope for each other. And so then, like, we go to Hawaii. We beat Hawaii. They had, I think at the time, like Timmy Chang. He was like
Chang, dude, yeah.
Timmy Chang was the best quarterback in the
held the
nation.
record
He was,
forever.
yeah.
Is
And
he's our head coach now, right?
Is he?
I think he's
Is
a
he?
Wise head coach now.
Okay,
I
wow.
think he just got hired. Yeah.
so that's cool. But anyway, so I remember we got off there, back in Tuscaloosa on the airport. I got on the team bus coming back, and I remember we're about to get off the bus at the facility, at the athletic facility, and I walked up to the front. We're getting off one by one. Fran's still sitting in that front left seat, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I was like, hey, coach, we're gonna have us a great year next year. I was like,
Oh snap!
and he looked up at me. He's like, you betcha, Mark. Look, we're about to get busy, and that was it. That's the last time I ever saw him or talked to him in my life.
He was like, yeah, you can bet I am, Mark.
Yeah. Hey, you bet yourself. Hey, we're gonna get after it, buddy. But anyway.
You still irritated about it?
Yeah. All right.
you
So
feel
okay.
sorry about it.
All right. So this is how it went down. We find out as a team. All right. And it was not good because not only did Fran not come and tell us himself that he was leaving, okay, which was just completely ridiculous. He sends Carl Torbush, who was our was he DC at the time? Okay. Linebackers coach? Yeah. So he sends Torbush into the, he's already gone. He's in Texas. He's ready. He's at Texas A&M. He's out there living it up, Hey, I got my money now. But anyway.
Hey, look at me, got all this.
So we literally get in the team meeting room, and there is hush. It's quiet. Torbush tells us that Fran has left us. Don't know what the future's going to be like, but we're going to try to take care of y'all, blah, 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 whatever, like you tell any team. So, we erupt. The team was just super pissed off,
Okay, be
we
more
have poured-
specific about erupt.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Everybody,
When you say erupt, I
we're
think
trying
everybody
at the
thinks,
time.
Whiskey Tango
No,
Foxtrot.
okay, well,
yeah.
the actual eruption happened after we broke, all right? But
Okay.
when he told us, everybody was just like, what? Looking around
Like out loud?
Yes,
Or just,
yeah, but it didn't get to where we disrespected Coach Torbush. We loved him, we were going to let him talk to us. But everybody was still pissed. But anyway, when we broke, I'm talking about, there was a group of fellas, and
As he looks to the camera.
I'm not going to name any names, but there was a group of us who
Us. That was a group of us.
ransacked Dennis Franchione's office.
Bunch of pirates.
And we took a few memorabilia, and
No way.
And it wasn't like anything.
Picture of his kids.
Yeah. It was nothing.
Who is this little guy? I don't know, but it was Dennis Franchione's. It's mine now.
I didn't feel right doing it because some of the guys were going down the hallways and seeing some of the stuff and just ripping things off the walls. People were. I'm talking about when
It
I
was
say
chaos.
It was. You don't understand.
Well, there was a mutiny going
He
on.
he had us mentally bought into everything. We were bought in.
And then
when I say we were bought in, and then he stuck us and
turned
was
the
gone.
knife is
He
what it
wasn't
sounds
even
like.
there to do it. He sent.
That's sad, man.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine you raising your boys up and they love you, and we have good times together, and all of a sudden you just don't say a word. I'm gone.
I'm
And
going on
then
vacation with Trisha.
Every time you walk down a hall and look around, it's everything that he's been preaching to you for years, and all of a sudden you're just everybody.
It's like Dad went to the store and got some scratchers and some smokes and never came back.
Yeah.
And so there was a group of us, and now I never really was a bad person. I didn't try to do bad things, but when I saw my buddies going to his office, I was
Mob
like,
mentality.
yeah,
You know what? That sounds
yeah, let's do it.
he didn't
What are they
How
going
much
to
to
do to
pack
stop
up?
me? I bench press 415 pounds.
Where's the rest of the staff at this point? Are they in the building?
There,
Or is it
yeah,
just
and
Coach
they
Torbush?
were.
locking their doors?
Yeah, probably.
And I know I portray it like it's like some kind of
Like I'm-
2020 riot.
Yeah.
It's not.
Daggum.
That's not exactly.
I was thinking no. I was thinking medieval, like depose the king, mob outside of Frankenstein's castle
with
type.
the pitchfork, no, it wasn't. It was a little bit of that, but it was more contained. Because some of the guys were talking to the coaches while the other ones were ransacked. It was like a
They got their attention.
Dad's got this shirt. It says pillage before you burn. He wears this shirt around that says pillage before you burn. It's the funniest thing ever. But that's what we did. So there was a group of us that went in his office. I wasn't paying attention to everything that they did, but I just remember seeing this little miniature Alabama helmet that was about this big, sitting up on his thing thingamajig, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. And, Shelf, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
I see it, and I'm like, I like that.
That's mine.
And that's what I got, was that one helmet. And then, like, I took it down to the equipment room, and Tank Connerly was down there, and I was like, hey, Tank, you got any, like, little numbers that we can put on this? And he looked at it, he was like, yeah, I got something like that, you know. And so he goes, takes it in the back, puts my number on the little helmet.
Right.
And I still have it to this day. It's got a little 63 on the helmet.
That's awesome.
the only
And it was
one
Dennis Franchione's helmet.
Dennis Franchione's, yeah.
Still got it
I do.
That's awesome.
on
Yes.
display?
I think it's in my closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty great story.
Or no. It's in my
pretty
son's cage room. It's in his,
Okay.
I think he's got it up in his room.
Mutiny at Malmore football.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a good book.
The
I mean,
mutiny
that-
at the Moor.
The mutiny at the Moor.
Well, I mean, we had a lot go on. I mean,
I
because
heard a
then,
publishing deal coming through.
I mean, that was just the beginning. Like, y'all got to understand, like, once that happened, like, everybody,
The wheels fell off.
we knew that we had to continue, because we're Alabama
hold the rope.
football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to,
Yeah.
you know, like, we're Alabama football. Like, we've got to keep it. We can't, we're going to get a coach, but
Because
we've got to stay
it
together.
was up, then it was down.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of coming back up.
Right. So,
And then it's
so that's when, you know, they hire Mike Price, and we're all like, okay.
Hey,
We'll give it a shot, you
Brody
know.
was happy about that.
ace
Yeah.
formation, double
Yeah,
tight
Brody
ends.
was
Let's
happy.
do it.
Brody ready.
So you were like, okay, we go from running a, you know, pitch option, you know, to, okay, now we're going to sling the ball around a little bit. I'm down with that because that's what I did in high school. Okay, well, I get to kick set now, and, you know, all this. Well, okay. I was like, cool. So he gets there. We freaking love this guy. Our first team meeting, he comes
He is a
in.
player's coach.
Hey, he was, when I say players coach, man, he comes in the first team meeting. The first time we lay eyes on this guy, he runs in with a big glass bowl packed full of white sugar packets because the championship was going to be played at the Sugar Bowl. that
Yeah.
year. He comes in and starts just chunking them at us. Y'all ready to win this thing? Ah! Ah! And we're like, yeah. We're like, and so like he immediately comes in with.
Well, I remember the spring. He was talking about we got so much talent here. He said, "I got and he did a lot with less at Washington State. And
Yeah.
he was like, we've got so much
Well,
talent
I think
here.
they were on the verge that next year of like really, really being good.
Yeah.
Though, for real.
Yeah.
Price.
we were. We lost some really questionable games, but
It's
yeah,
rolling, baby. It's rolling.
rolling.
but yeah, we
Rolling.
when we found we went spring with Price, and when we during the summer or whatever, when we found out that he got fired, oh man,
Yeah, big letdown.
and because we had, like I said,
were you part of that group that wanted to keep him? I mean, because I know Brody
Yes.
got up there and he was
Yeah,
like, "Hey, you know,
yes.
we understand, but we believe in second chances."
yes,
and-
absolutely, because he was literally like one of the coolest coaches ever. Honestly, would talk to you like it didn't matter that he was the head coach at Alabama. Like he would just talk to you like he was just a real dude.
Right.
Just shoot the bull with you, you know. Talk about family, like, hey, this is what you got to do, blah blah, and just life, you know. Like, great guy, cut up with you, held us accountable, but really it was more like he was the good guy and he made all the assistant coaches be the bad guys, you know.
His son was there too. Just
Yeah.
the look on his son's face when all that was going down.
Yeah, it was.
unbelievable.
Well, you know, like, and I remember y'all. There was a lot of guys that got up there crying. You know, that's the way all of us felt. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I want to say the majority of the football team, like, we felt like we were broken.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's, you know, the rest is history. You know, we get Shula next and have a mediocre year or less than mediocre. That 03
Well, then y'all
season.
went 10-3 the next year.
Well, that was
Or
2
that
years.
was
We
05.
played in the next year, my junior year. We played in the Music City Bowl and lost to Minnesota. That's when they had.
Barber.
Yeah,
Mary
yeah,
Barber
yeah.
And what was the other one? They had both of them.
Yeah, but they were.
Mooney.
Maroney.
Yeah,
Lawrence Maroney.
yeah,
Not,
yeah.
not Ricky Foggy.
So,
He wasn't there.
yeah, but we ended up. I loved Shula, man. He was cool. He really was. He was a little different than Price, but as far as like players coach, he was the same way. You know, he was a little more reserved a little bit, but he.
He probably operated more like an NFL type.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
That's
it was.
That's
more
his pedigree.
you know,
Yeah, but he still would cut up. I remember like at practice, like, you know, that somebody screw up or something, he'd like just dog trash would cuss him, you know. And then like he'd walk back over there to us and be like, hey, you thought that was funny, didn't you? You know?
I guess it was pretty cool having Don Shula around a little bit too.
That was awesome.
That was pretty neat.
Funny story. Don Shula, okay. All right. So there was one day, I can't remember, I was like late because my car had stopped working and I had to get a bicycle and pedal across campus to get
Did the
over
bicycle
there.
still work afterwards?
Hey, what were
Yes.
you driving at the time? The Cherokee?
The Jeep, yeah. I just quit. It went to crank.
Me and Mark, we had a white Jeep Cherokee Sport that we passed around.
Yeah, I messed that thing,
I
man.
did too, man. It was a classic.
But anyway, so yeah. Well, I went to go crank it one time. Just nothing. No sounds, nothing. Like, oh, that's not good. Come back. I get one of my buddies to take me to Walmart, and I went and bought a ridiculously cheap bicycle. I was like, well, I'll just do this till I can figure something out, you know. So I was doing that for like a week, and this is when this happened. But when I went back to my Jeep, like after a week, it cranked right up. Never had another problem. It was the weirdest thing. It was the most random thing. But anyway, so I'm late getting there, and so I'm busting it in there, trying to get dressed, and we were in the indoor facility that day, and so I get all my stuff on, and I go running across the field, you know, and I'm trying to get in there. Don Shula standing at the entrance to the indoor facility, and me and him had already conversed a few times. Like he called me big man, you know, and something about it, he was drawn to me. Every time he saw me, he would just light up smiling. He'd come talk to me. I don't know what it is about me, but anyway.
Look at you.
This one, yeah, I don't know. This one day I go running past, like, hey, big man, you forget something? I was like, huh? Coach, what do you mean? He's like, your pants, bud. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go running back to the
just in a jock strap.
No, it was well, you know, we wore those Nike
Compression,
compression,
yeah,
you know,
padded,
but you know, they
yeah.
had like our hip pads in them
Yeah.
and stuff. But that was it, you know, it was just me, compression shorts, and Don Shula telling me, hey bud, you missing something?
Yeah, and this is the winningest coach in
NFL
NFL history, right? Telling you
yeah,
need your pants on.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good story. It's a good story.
Where did you go to school? Asheville. Yeah, checks out.
But anyway, so the next year, you know, my senior year, we were ranked top 5 at one point. You know, we were undefeated for a while, and you know, we lost pro throw.
Right.
That was rough. Well, I got hurt the very first. I was starting. You know, we were driving. We were playing Middle Tennessee State my first game my senior year, and we were driving down the field. I think we got in the third quarter, and Shula had called in this power play, and I remember we were on our reverse, like 30-yard line maybe, and I remember I was playing right guard at the time. We called power left. I pull around and get up in the hole, and I jack the strong side linebacker up, and I'm just driving him, and all of a sudden, you know, running back runs off my butt. We pick up like 40, 50 yards, just boom. They hawk us down. And then we get in the huddle, and he called in the same play, and I'm like, gosh, dang it. I'm like, I know this ain't going to work. I was like, so we get up there. And maybe it was that thought process that got me injured so bad. But when I got up there and got down in my stance and I look up and I just see them like all creeping in on over there, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so, but I was like, oh, whatever, you know. So I pull around. Yep, they sent a blitz. They filled in my gap and brought the cornerback off the edge. And when I say that, when I got the linebacker and I was trying to drive him out, I just got rolled up on so bad and tore up my knee and my ankle at the same time. Like the inside of my knee and the outside of my ankle got hurt. So just imagine like the zigzag of you know, it was just
I
nasty.
remember that. I
It
remember
was so
listening to it
nasty.
on the radio at the time.
And so yeah, that was really, that sucked for me because, you know, I'd been working hard. But anyway, that's life.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But you got to come back at the
Right.
Yeah,
Cotton
yeah.
Bowl and
Yeah, you got to live in the infamous
make
Daniel
us
A.
all
Moore
proud, man.
print.
You know?
Yeah, I got on a Daniel Moore print. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, the guys on a Daniel Moore.
Yeah, that's pretty
Can
cool.
anybody else say that?
I don't know.
Nah,
Some people can, yeah.
Some people.
Say it in here.
Not from Asheville.
But
Absolutely not.
yeah, I mean that game was pretty sweet. Well, it was tough because like when I was hurt, I gained a little bit of weight because I just couldn't move, you know. And I
Right.
was still trying to eat like I was out kicking my tail every day. So I think I got up to like 345 by the time, and I'm 340 right now. So a muscle-less 340, you know. So at the time, you know, I wasn't still in good shape, but yeah, I gained a little weight, and so we got to the Cotton Bowl, and yeah, it was
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. They were like ranked, or they were ranked
10, 12, something like
something.
that.
Yeah. Like we were like 11th or 12th. They were 13th.
Jamie Christensen hit the kick
Yeah.
right there at the end.
Yeah. So, but they had their quarterback. God, what was his name? Doesn't matter. Our defense played lights out. He was like the top passer in the nation that year. And our defense had like one of the best defenses.
Later.
That's what I was thinking it was. But
I think it was Graham.
Was it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Because they had Danny.
No, was it
Amendola
Cody?
playing for
Was
them.
it Cody?
Yeah.
Cody something.
Was it?
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So
That was about the time they started with their fun.
They were really good. So we get in the game. Second play of the game.
screen.
Shula calls a screen, and I'm
Keith
like,
Brown.
I love this play. I was like, yes. And they had the story's pretty funny, but they had their safety was an All-American, and I knew it, and I knew that's who I was probably going to end up going to get. You know, I was like, well, I hope I can block him. And so basically, it was a fake sweep to the right, and me and the left tackle were responsible for scooping under and going back outside, and the tackle was responsible for getting the corner, and I was responsible for anybody upfield, you know. So we did it. I go flying upfield, and I just see number 3, and I'm like, here we go. I go running at him, and I just take a dive,
Just
trying to
lay
get his
out.
leg,
Yeah.
you know. And I like barely, when I say I barely clipped his leg, and I like slung his leg around.
Yeah.
But that was all we
Just
needed.
enough.
Yeah, I was like 76 yards.
Yeah.
Keith Brown goes streaking up the field. The only touchdown of the game we had.
So, what are your thoughts? Did you ever go back and watch a replay
Oh, yeah.
of that game?
Yeah.
Did you happen to notice his knee was down when he caught that ball?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, but I don't care.
Touchdown shouldn't have counted. I'm an Alabama guy, but it shouldn't have counted.
But also, too, like, was it down, though?
Yeah, it's pretty down.
It kind of looked from a distance, yeah. But, I mean, we don't have the replay system back then. We do now.
You're right. I'm just.
Hey, what if
I
it
just didn't
wasn't?
know if you knew that.
Hey,
What if it
never
wasn't?
know.
What if it wasn't?
Hey,
guess what? Hey,
call on the field.
Hey,
it
Call
was
on
good.
the field.
Give him 6, my friend.
yeah,
So
but-
before we move on from Alabama, you know, at the time, you guys are coming off probation. You know, the next year Shula's gone, and the next year Saban's in. You're gone by this time. There's a big textbook scandal, something that goes on.
yeah. Well, that was.
I just have to ask, were you part of that?
Heck no, I was
Okay.
gone. I was
Okay.
gone.
I didn't know. They
You already
had
sold
said.
all your textbooks by then.
No, I promise you. And when I heard that had gone on, I was like, man, that was genius. Dude. I could have had some extra money. Why wasn't I like that? I could have been just a shyster and got, you know. But anyway, no, I went and turned all my stuff in. But no, it was some of my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got all our wins that year vacated. You know, we got ranked in the top 10 that year.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet. You know,
I got to know, and this is because I'm an Auburn guy, what was the loudest or most intense environment y'all ever played in at Bama?
Oh, man. Tiger Stadium by far. LSU.
LSU was
I mean,
intense.
Jordan Hare probably gets
Jordan
louder
Hare,
than anywhere
Jordan
else.
Hare was very intimidating.
But-
I'm gonna be real with you.
But,
Very
yeah,
intimidating.
Baton
Because see,
Rouge-
y'all aren't the first Alabama people, especially Alabama players, I've heard say that. I
Yeah,
hear
Jordan Hare.
Alabama fans talk about Death Valley and Jordan Hare being the two, and I didn't. I mean, being an Auburn guy, you don't really think about it, but I went to the Iron Bowl this year, and it was the first time that I had really sat in the stands at an Iron Bowl, and because I'm so used to being like. I'm so used to having to worry about a million other things other than the game during the game. Well, this time I got to go be a fan, and I realized, of course, it was a very unique game. The fact that we went to 800 overtimes, but the noise level, and I'm thinking to myself, what are these Alabama players thinking right now? They're in hostile territory, and they're like, so what was y'all's thought process being in hostile territory?
I mean, I never touched the field. I think the LSU game though, I almost did. They told me like, get ready. I'm like, what?
What?
Because that LSU game, I mean, when I went into Alabama, when I went in the fall, they were expecting me to come in and start.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't do that. I didn't produce. And Lane did great. I mean,
Lane
he
Beard?
was, he was
Yeah.
fantastic.
He was.
Didn't that guy kick with a broken ACL or torn
Yeah, he
ACL
kicked
or
with four
MCL or
ACLs.
something?
Yeah,
That
he's
was
tough.
crazy.
Dude. He was
Hey.
an unbelievable soccer
He's-
player. He was Tyler Watt's #1 receiver at
Yeah,
Pelican. So
yeah.
wasn't
Hey, he was
just
an athlete.
He
Yeah.
was not just a
That joker
kicker.
would kick a ball and go hawk somebody down.
No, man,
he was famous for that.
Me and him were
Knocking-
a lot alike. Like we
Yeah.
were ready to get after it,
Yeah.
you know. But he was a fantastic athlete. But anyway, Lane was struggling against LSU, and I remember like coming out of the locker room at LSU. You have to go around. They got freaking Mike the Tiger in the cage.
Yeah.
They got him
Outside
sitting
the
right
visitor
there.
locker
Yeah,
room.
they got him in that tunnel.
And dude, I'm telling you, like you try. I mean, you can say all you want. It doesn't affect you, but you walk around that Tiger and you hear it like breathing, man.
Yeah.
It's like right there. It's pretty intimidating. I mean,
Yeah.
I just thought of something funny. So when we went and Might have been, I can't remember what year. Doesn't matter. Anyway, one of the road trips we went down to LSU. One of the funniest things I ever saw, like pulling up on the team bus outside the stadium. Those stories are always the funniest when the team bus comes into the stadium and you're the opposing stadium, like the people that you come across.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
I just remember, and it was the funniest thing, and I don't remember a lot of other stuff, but this just stuck with me. And I know this guy's dead now. But we were pulling up, and we were coming to a slow crawl, and I remember seeing this old fella on this walker. And he sees us coming up, and he stops snailing along for 2 seconds and just
Double birds.
Double birds.
shaking hands, double birds it, and just. I was like, oh my gosh, did y'all see that? Yeah, it was intense.
And I got a very similar, and it may be as bad. I mean, due to the age of this person, but we're going into LSU and Tiger Stadium, and I mean, people are throwing their beers on the bus.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wild.
Hey, they did that.
Like
Yeah,
you're going into freaking
cans, man.
I mean, the Cajuns are wild.
Yeah,
man.
they are.
They were.
They're throwing the beers. You know, they're actually a couple of them pushing the bus. They're hitting it with their flags. You know, and I'm like, man, this is awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah,
incredible.
yeah. It was
So
incredible.
the first, that's how it was when I went the first time to Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
They were like, and
Yeah.
I'm going,
Intense.
is this normal?
Yeah,
And everybody's
it's-
like, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
So anyway, we're riding in, and it goes on for a good, 200-300 feet. I mean, you're just riding, and people are they hate you. They hate all.
yeah, they hate Bama, man. Oh.
And all of a sudden, I look up like Mark did. He saw the guy on the walker. I see a kid in a wheelchair,
Oh, God.
and the kid in the wheelchair just raises it up, man.
What is it about you LSU people and y'all's
I mean-
y'all's handicapped, bird flipping? What is this?
Oh, no. Oh,
And I was like, "Did you see that kid shoot us a bird?"
Bunch of handicapped degenerates,
I mean,
man.
what?
What was this?
Hey,
With
look.
my dying breath, I'm going to flip off the whole Alabama football team.
Make a wish. I just want one opportunity. I just want one opportunity to take me down there, man, and I just want to give it to them one time.
Can you imagine Ogeron? Can you imagine Ogeron down there? Hey, we're going to give you that opportunity. We're going to flip off Alabama real tight, tell you what.
We are going to get canceled. We are going to get canceled. We're going to have to cancel.
To our German listeners, we're talking about American football.
We're going to have to cancel ourselves. So did you ever play at Georgia? Did y'all ever go to Georgia while y'all were there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Did they spit on you? They spat on us.
I don't. Probably the teammates probably did. I didn't.
They
personally.
spat on. They barked at us,
But
and they spat on us.
Matthew knows. They're Georgia people, man.
They're insane. I hate
I
Georgia
didn't-
football
I didn't
fans.
go there as a player, but I went there to watch the blackout game as a spectator, and
Oh, wait.
That was a great game.
that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, you talking about those Georgia people? That's when Matthew Stafford. Was,
Yep.
that was
Didn't
his
you almost get
senior
in a
year.
fight with one of those
Yes,
dudes
I
out there?
did. Matthew Stafford, AJ Green was there. I mean, it was they were supposed to beat the brakes off of it.
My roommate was in the band, and we were down there. So you got a security guy outside the locker room, right? You've got a security guy outside the locker room, right? Like everywhere you go.
Right up Murph's alley
Even
right there.
Well, I don't think Matthew got to the end of that one. You're about to tell about you getting in a fight with a guy?
Oh, I mean, I will.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, though.
well, so this kind of the
I hate to leave on you guys, but I gotta go.
Bye, Aaron.
It's great being here.
Good to see you again, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron.
Good.
Hey, Aaron, you didn't have to announce that over the recording. You could have just left like a
Hey,
good.
say hey to your mama
I
now.
wanted to be
Aaron, just leave.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron.
Yeah, I was good.
See, bye.
Yep. But
Why is this chair sweaty?
we had our
Forgot my car.
those are important, Aaron. Car keys are important.
Car keys and khakis. If you're from Boston.
Khakis.
Khakis. We had
I thought that was funny.
it
I
was
laughing
it was
the other day
this
I heard that.
guy, this security guy, and he was supposed to like watch out for us. Well, I don't know who this guy was. He must have been a donor, a Georgia donor. But the guy's standing next to the entrance to our locker room, and he's checking my credentials, and I've been in and out all day, so he kind of knows me. And but then this crowd starts to form, as the game's getting close. This was the first time I went to Georgia. The guy starts barking at me and like JR. Yeah, I think it was JR and one of the team doctors. JR was our associate AD of game day operations.
Who shot him?
And who shot who?
Go ahead. He's too young. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't get it. So Jeremy goes, are you gonna let this guy, like these guys bark at it? There was probably 2 or 3 of them. Like they were like barking at us, calling us MF or every name, and they're probably from me to you. And the security guy, let's say it's Murphree right here, and he doesn't miss a beat. He's looking ahead out the tunnel. You know, like you go, there's that. It's like kind of steep at Georgia, and it kind of goes down and then goes out to the field. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just like, y'all are all a bunch of a-holes here, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I hate Georgia. I hate Georgia football fans. I'm looking at you. I don't care who knows it. Shay Monroe, I don't like Georgia. You know I don't like Georgia. I hate Georgia more than I hate Alabama as an Auburn fan. I really do.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Because I got the same experience.
So I say that to say I'm sure that the same kind of attitude was what you experienced.
The same.
Hey,
Riding.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. When I get thoughts in my head, I just got to run. Okay. Were you just going to talk about how much you don't like Georgia people?
Well, I mean, I was just going to tell the story about.
Oh, that's what that's for. Right now.
Yeah,
So
go
other
ahead.
people can
Write it
talk.
down what you
Y'all,
just
so y'all
thought
are
about.
used to
We're
this.
not.
We're not podcasters.
Yeah.
We
don't
aren't
know
either.
You are now.
We're not either.
I just had a funny story to tell about my recruiting trip to Tennessee.
Oh,
Can I
that's
tell
a
it?
good one. Yeah, go
TK,
ahead.
baby.
All right, so because we're thinking about different teams and stadiums and stuff. So anyway, so it's my senior year. Matthew's already there. He's traveled with the team to Tennessee. We had just played, maybe Faultville the night before. No, who did we play? It doesn't matter. We beat the mess out of some team. My senior year, the 3-7 year.
Oh, it's Holtville.
Holtville. Thank
Holtville.
you, Holtville.
Yeah, we went down there
Faultville.
to
Beat them 60 something to. We destroyed
20.
them.
Yeah,
JoJo Anderson took quarterback snaps that game.
I'm Joseph.
Yeah. So anyway,
between 4 cotton fields down toward Demopolis. Yeah.
so like
What's
after
up?
the,
Excuse me.
after the game, we were like my family was like, hey, we're gonna drive up to Knoxville and spend the night in a hotel and get up and go to the game, go watch your brother play. And we got it set up to where I go on a little recruiting trip, So anyway, show up. I get to go into Tennessee's, athletic facility. Raymond Farmer and Carnell Williams were there, which is pretty cool. I didn't know they were going to be there, so we hung out for a while. It was pretty fun. So anyway, got to listen to old Fulmer and be in his awful presence for a little bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, my story boils down to this. I had pre-planned before I left. My nanny, Sue Allman, God rest her soul, she bought me this this big Columbia yellow jacket. I used to wear it a good bit. I love this thing. It had like a dual zip-in liner, you could wear something in it. But anyway, on this left side over here, it had this really big, deep pocket. Just about this tall, big old deep pocket. So anyway, we get in the game. And I'm going around the campus. They had assigned me this girl to lead us around everywhere, like they used to be able to do. But anyway, so we having a great time. Good time around Knoxville. I thought it was beautiful, wonderful place. Everybody's happy. It really is. I enjoyed it. I love
Beautiful
the
campus.
mountains.
I love
I love
The river
Tennessee.
right there by the
The
stadium.
river
there.
next to the stadium is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But anyway, so they sat the recruits next to the band and all like the student section and stuff, like right up in the mix of everything that's crazy and fun that is Tennessee Volunteers. So I'm in there, and at one
As
point,
they should, though.
yeah, as they should. At one point, Bama had scored a touchdown, and I told myself,
Yeah, that was a good game that night.
It
too.
was.
It was like we probably should have won that game.
yeah. But
We
anyway,
were 3-8 that year.
yeah. It's okay.
UCF Fighting Knights.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah. But anyway, so when Bama scored, I'm in the middle of a sea of orange. When I look around, I got my band over here, crazy drunk people over here wearing their orange. Everybody's wearing puke orange everywhere.
And here's Mark in
And
yellow.
I'm yellow. Okay?
Safety
And when
yellow.
Bama scores, I had hidden away
No.
in my inner zipper here, this long Bama standard shaker that people. And boy, did I not stand up and start hitting the fight song with them in the middle. Hey, Alabama. And when I say that the girl that was leading me around wanted to murder me. I'm talking to everybody wanted to murder me. I didn't. We had to leave
Right then?
very shortly thereafter because
Wow.
people were yelling obscenities at me. But that's just how much Bama I got in me.
Too much Bama.
I had too
Oh,
much Bama.
God,
in me.
there it is.
So was there
Too much Bama in me.
anybody else legitimately that you were going to go to besides Alabama?
Now,
Didn't
Saban wrote me letters. And I thought that was cool, but that was before Saban won championships and stuff, you
Yeah.
know. But I
thought he showed up here one day. School.
No,
I
Saban
don't,
never
I don't
came
remember
here.
Saban being here.
No, because I mean, I committed to Bama really early.
Yeah.
But there was other schools that wanted me to come. But anyway.
But like if Bama pulls their offer with the coaching change and all that, where do you end up?
Oh,
Hypothetically, let's play what
didn't.
if here for a minute.
I kind of was digging Ole Miss at the time, you know, because they were, you know, they had Eli,
Oxford's a pretty place.
and they,
Cutcliffe was a good dude.
yeah, like their staff was cool, and
you know, his brother
their
lives
offense suited like.
His brother
Cross
lives up
streets.
here on the mountain, on
Like
Straight
Cutcliffe?
Mountain. Yeah, Cutcliffe's brother.
Really?
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. He shops at Fouts.
I got to meet him.
Yes.
I met Cutcliffe a couple years ago, man. Heck of a dude. I got a coaching.
I've always heard he's a great guy. Like I've heard
good dude.
he's a really good guy.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my story about Tennessee. Yeah. Once I got out of there, I think I watched a lot of the rest of the game from like one of the tunnels
Hey,
across the field.
it was you, Sutton, and Tim Davis, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Mom and Dad. I think Papa came with us too.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was
Remember
cool. It was good to get to see all the guys after the game. And go,
Yeah, that was
team
the
bus
first
with
time I
Matthew
ever
and-
really got like harassed on the sideline because at Neyland Stadium when you're on the field, I mean it's like
Right there.
it's like from here to the wall and then it goes up. You know that place is just massive. But I kept hearing like, "Hey Sanders, hey Sanders," and I'm like, "Oh God," you know.
I used to be that guy at JSU
why-
football games.
Like, why-
Hey, 40!
Yeah.
Hold the cord for the coach a little bit more. You suck.
Exactly. So about the time I just like finally I was like, man, he done said it like 12 times. I'm like, he just keeps doing it like, all right, whatever. I'll let him say.
I
what he's
borrowed
gonna
this
say.
jersey. My name's Farmer.
Yeah. So I turn around and I just look up like that and he's like, yeah, Sanders, you suck. I was like, is that all you got, dude? I'm like, is that
You've
it?
been yelling my name for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
That's all you got.
That's all you got.
Tennessee.
So that was fun, but that was a pretty common occurrence. you
Okay,
know.
so college is over. Mark's back home. Needs a job. Let's go wrestle.
Well, I mean, I couldn't really call that a job because
Well,
the amount of
no.
money we got paid was
Yeah.
enough to cover maybe a little bit of gas.
Yeah.
Give us the
Yeah.
context behind how both of you got involved.
Oh man.
Well, okay. Well,
Hey,
so
let's-
from
Please
the time,
tell me Action Mike Jackson is in this story somewhere.
Well, he's a big part of it.
inspiration.
Oh, man.
Really? Mike
There we
Jackson,
go.
big
Here we
part. Okay, because I mean, hey, Action Mike Jackson would come up here to the school and put on the show, and I thought, and Matthew probably thought it, you know, especially when that Joker wore your jersey out here one time,
Yeah.
up in the ring,
Yeah.
wrestling in it, and was
Yeah.
up high roping it
I
with a guy's
wrote it,
hand and
doing
jumped
the
all
classic.
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, we had all from the time we were little. We're always wrestling fans, you know.
I mean, we grew up hardcore wrestling fans. Our cousin Kenny was probably the
Yeah.
hardest,
Cut-
the
Ken-
hardcore.
hey, when I tell you,
So-
Kenny Farmer is the biggest wrestling fan, and that really like as much as you know, as big of a tide as we were, you know, like just to all of us to be in the wrestling thing, like we just would do it out in the yard, wrestling all the time. Well, anyway, so like we were talking, and he was telling us, well, once we were done and we're back home, you know, like what else do we have to do, you know? So we were like, hey, we were talking one day. It was like, hey, let's see if we can find a wrestling ring somewhere we can just go rent and just
We
go.
were going to go record a
Yeah,
like a
we-
match.
I
We
brought
were gonna
my
do like a
video
triple threat
camera.
match.
Yeah.
We were just going to go in there and just have fun because we have always wanted to just get in a wrestling ring and just go ham on each
Just
other,
do
you
it,
know.
yeah.
So we, Kenny got in touch with Mickey Farmer up at 431 Sports Arena. Can I say not a sponsor? Y'all say it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely not a sponsor.
Definitely not.
Mickey
a
Henry.
Unless they're
Mickey
sponsoring,
Henry.
sending
Yeah.
Mickey
Mitch
Henry?
sending-
Yeah,
Mickey
not
Henry.
Mickey Farmer.
Mickey Henry.
Oh, did I say
Mickey
Farmer?
Henry.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong.
Shout out Mickey Farmer.
Hey, what's up, Mickey? You don't want to be Mickey Henry, man. I'm sorry. Lord forgive me.
Can we edit that
Most
out?
slanderous podcast ever.
But anyway, so we get it. So he calls him. You know, he's like, "Hey, it's gonna be like $100. Y'all give us $100.
Like, oh.
You can have it 3 hours. You know." We're
Like, oh,
awesome.
yeah, dude, we're
so-
there. Yeah.
Now 4:30. Now you,
Boaz.
Kenny, and y'all are
Yeah.
the Sanders boys. Now let's talk about
Yeah.
this 431 sports
Well,
arena
I
too.
was gonna talk about how
Okay,
we formed.
okay. Oh, but it's just like an oil change place that they converted
Yeah.
a wrestling arena.
100%,
Okay, because I went
yeah.
up there one night.
Yeah,
Go
it was like
ahead.
an old garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a lot bigger than your standard express. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But anyway,
Yeah.
so we went up there, and Mickey Henry loved us so much because we were in there just going crazy.
And it was, I'll say this because I was thinking about it on the way up here. Like, that match may have been our best work ever.
It may have been.
It
May have
might have
been.
been the best ever, man.
It may have been.
Because it had some really good elements, and I wish we had that.
I remember hurting Kenny really bad. I didn't mean to. But
Just when y'all three were
When we were
wrestling?
doing a triple threat,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
There was
That
one
was the
moment like
best.
Kenny had jumped on my back, and the only thing that I thought in my mind was slam him against the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And when I did, it just knocked all the
it's-
he still
it's
talks about
tough.
it. That was the most pain. I was like, I'm sorry, man.
bad.
But anyway, so they loved.
So y'all had it scripted out pretty good.
Well, not really.
Nah, we just
we
played it
loved
by
wrestling.
ear?
Went at
We
it.
just loved
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah.
So we just did crazy stuff.
So you just played it by ear mostly.
Yeah, me and him got physical in there,
Yeah.
of course, because we've been fighting each other to the death all our lives. So
Yeah, there's some
that
really
wasn't-
good stories about that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, that's another thing.
I want to get to one of them in particular, and you told us this,
Yeah.
Nick and I, out here one day.
So we want to do that right after the wrestling stories?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
All right,
do
we'll
that.
get to that
Okay.
right after the wrestling
Yeah.
stories. Okay. So yeah, Mickey Henry loved us so much. He was like, "Hey, what do you boys think
Yeah.
about coming to wrestling for us?"
Yeah.
And we're like,
What?
"Yes,
Like, of course. we will.
absolutely, that's the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever." So he was like, "All right, well, hey, we'll do this. You know, we'll get you my son and his." And we got a couple brothers who are tag team guys. You know, we'll put them a little triple tag team match. We can get y'all together. And
The couple of brothers that were tagged, were
Yeah.
these
They were
pretty
all
good-sized
bald
They
guys.
were
headed.
big guys.
Yeah, those are the two guys that were wrestling that night. I come up there they
Yes.
broke the ring that night.
Did
I
they
was
break
up
the
there.
ring?
Did they?
Yeah,
I think they did.
Yeah,
Was
they had
that
to
the-
stop everything and put the ring back.
Yeah, I
in.
think so.
And they had
And
a
they were-
manager
and
that
those
wore a
two-
cowboy hat. Who's
Was
that
that-
guy?
Oh, I don't know.
I was wondering if
don't
that was
know.
Mickey Henry. I didn't.
Yeah.
I
oh,
didn't know.
that was his name was Jeff. Remember his kind of portly fella?
Yeah, he was the manager of those two guys. Yeah,
Port-
yeah.
Portly? What does that even mean?
Portly
I
fella.
don't know, man.
He
was a portly
was
fella.
He was just standing
Yeah,
there.
ton.
He was just standing there. Oh, they broke the ring. They had to stop everything.
Oh, the ring announcer was the best though, man.
Oh, yeah.
He talked like this. The Sandman and the Beeps. But anyway, yeah. So actually, the first time we ever wrestled was they had taken the ring apart, took it over to a car lot, and they were doing a promo at a car lot. For
That
the
was
show.
the same
That is
day.
amazing.
Same day.
We were going to do our thing.
Yeah, so we did our show in a car.
It was in the Walmart parking lot.
Was it Walmart parking lot?
I was thinking
thought it was
so.
a car
It
lot.
may have been a
I thought
car
it was
lot, yeah.
like a used car lot. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and also that was the day I found out I was having my first child,
Hey, honey.
and I had a pregnancy test in my pocket. I was going to surprise you with it. You know,
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
tell you where you're going to be uncle.
That's pretty sweet.
Did you not know that? Did you not?
I mean,
About the surprise?
I don't know. I mean, it probably, but it's been so long. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's
Like I can imagine you doing that, and
That's
Mark going,
15
"I'm
years
so
ago.
proud for you. You're going to be very, very rich because you're the first man to ever have a kid."
yeah.
well, at the time, Heather was my wife. You know,
She was
pregnant with
pregnant,
Kate,
yeah.
and you know,
Right.
like they were, for years.
So
our
that
kids
was the
were
And we
perfect
were-
time for y'all to go off and wrestle.
Go wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Got kids on the
Hey,
way.
couldn't have timed it any better. We're
Yeah.
having kids and we need jobs, and you know we're going to go wrestle. Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
and especially what ended up happening to him, which pretty much ended our whole, wrestling career. But anyway, so yeah, we wrestled out in the parking lot that day. Then I don't. Were y'all there at the first time we?
I don't know
y'all
if
were
it's
at
the
the
first-
next one.
No,
yeah,
we-
y'all were at the next one.
Yeah, the run-in thing was, the announcement.
Yeah, we had
of
a
the
run
Sanders
in, so
boys
basically we
was-
ran in and jacked these guys up, setting it up for next week, right? So the next week we come in and it's just I think we had a hardcore match, and there was like weapons everywhere. We had gone and gotten a buggy that was off the road somewhere, filled it full of signs,
Off the road
cones,
somewhere.
all
Construction barrels.
Yeah, construction barrels, all kinds of stuff, and we had brought it out to the ring. I went to Walmart, got some face paint, put face paint on. I was like, I'm going crazy out here, and I went like, went like Ultimate Warrior, went the face paint down the
Where
cheek.
was I at during this? I would have loved
Oh,
to have done
dude.
that.
Well,
you
did
didn't get the-
Kenny, did he ever get a cone stuck on his head or something?
No, he
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
the traffic cone.
They put
yeah.
the barrel
He was just
over
running
him.
around
They
with a
run it
barrel
over
over
him.
him.
Yeah, they're beating the barrel.
Yeah, well, no,
stuck in a
the
traffic
trick
barrel.
was that the Bebop with their
Bebop in the mob.
Bebop in the mob were the guys. Bebop had
Versus
made it
the
look like it
Sanders
was him
boys.
in there, but it was actually Kenny in there. So we knocked him out, and then they came and jerked us out of the ring, and they got him for the 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah.
but anyway, there was a ton of stuff. Like, I really wish we could have I should have brought that DVD with me today.
What about
I
Buff
could've brought it.
Bagwell? You don't say anything about Buff
Oh,
Bagwell?
I mean, look.
Yeah.
Let's go.
CowboysandAngels.com.
Buff at the time when we were up there, like he was at the point where he was just running the circuit, just trying to pimp
was
some
trying- he was
autographs,
trying
and
to,
make
yeah,
his
make some
little
money on
do
it.
whatever he could, I guess, but
Trying to
And
say
when I
that.
but it was
say-
still Buff Bagwell.
When I say
mean,
that when we were kids, I love me
I
some Marcus Alexander
love
Bagwell.
I love some Buff Bagwell.
Hey, I love that guy.
100%.
And then we get to wrestle with him
Yeah.
here at Asheville High School.
Yeah.
And,
And then
after
he's-
that, I hated the guy.
Yeah, and then he's in the locker. Well, all right, let's go through.
I don't hate him.
So much to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack because when we're up there, I mean, we brought a crowd. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
there's
we
a
brought-
lot of.
we
It was
brought
packed
way
up
more
there, and
people.
It was packed in here. And
We
Because
brought
once-
way more people
once-
than Buff Bagwell.
Once the average, backdoor redneck wrestling organization fans here, there's some Alabama football players wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
they came out.
Oh,
didn't
dude, it gets nuts, man. I mean, this place is packed, especially with Mark. Mark up there choke slamming people and power bombing people left and right, and was vicious with it.
It was good.
And that's another story for later about how you probably should have pursued it, like really. But anyway,
Oh, I do got to tell that
yeah,
story.
you got to tell
Oh,
that story.
man, that was a
But
good story.
anyway,
Two-part, told you.
I mean, it's a
We're gonna have to
lot.
yeah.
There's a lot to unpack. Long story short, we wrestle, and then after I get healed from my broken hand, we decide we're going to do the farewell.
He broke his
match.
hand doing a frog splash.
I
in the
did a
match.
frog splash.
And this was towards the beginning of a match.
Yeah.
This dude's a trooper. I'm talking. Look at the scar on his hand.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
it's-
Oh,
it's-
right there,
continues
yeah.
wrestling the match with 2 broken bones in his hand, just protruding. Not really protruding, but
Well,
they're
they're
getting
just
ready to.
they're just sliding.
His
up and
hands
down,
flopping
crunching,
around.
my
They're
hands
grabbing him
flopping.
by it and stuff. And
They
it's
Irish whipped me in the turnbuckle 4 times.
yeah,
Dang,
it
nice.
was.
Yeah,
And we were really like
and I kept telling
he
him like,
tagged in Kenny. Yeah, and he came out and he like whispered to me, he's like, "I broke my hand." I'm like, "What?"
yeah, and I'm
He's
like,
"Dude, I broke my hand."
and I'd hold it like that, and my fingers would fall.
Yeah, it was nasty.
That ain't good.
And this was in the middle of the match. We had to like finish it out and everything.
And get
He
out
was
of
a
there.
trooper.
Yeah.
It was rough. Dude.
So anyway, we come back to Asheville High School to wrestle a farewell match, and it's sold out. And before we talk about the match, I'll tell this story. Buff Bagwell's on the card, and before the match, Buff's in the back saying, like, begging the promoter guy, like, man, you got to let me go on before these guys, like once they get done, I mean, there's not going to be anybody here, they're not going to watch my match. And I was just remember thinking, like how crazy, like how
That's awesome,
how
man.
crazy. Like
Buff
me
Bagwell's
witnessing
jealous.
what
Buff Bagwell's jealous of the Saturday
me
boys.
witnessing Buff Bagwell begging this guy
Yeah,
to
man.
let him wrestle before us.
Oh, dude.
And you took a licking with a chair in here.
No,
didn't
that
you?
wasn't a
I thought-
lick.
I
No,
thought
that
you knocked out
that was
night.
assault.
That was a
brother.
hurricane of steel on his face. Is what that was.
That was the
They
shot
cut the-
chair shot of the century.
It cut the back of his head. He was bleeding out of the back of his head.
No, I took it in the forehead.
Yeah, but it cut the back of
No,
your
it
head
did.
too. It
Well,
wrapped-
Well,
it
that's a
wrapped-
heck of a lick. Take a lick in the front. It cuts.
Well, basically, for anybody
Well,
who
here's the
wasn't
spot,
there,
okay, the spot
go
was
ahead,
supposed to
Murphy.
be. The spot was supposed to be. I was gonna go towards Bebop, little Bebop. He was gonna take the chair and throw it right. So, the folding chair is supposed to open like so, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna hit me with the seat, and the seat was gonna open up and just kind of like not even hurt my head. I mean, it's just gonna open up. I'm gonna fall and sell it, whatever. Well, what happened was
Yeah, the
he
back
was
way.
so short that it hit the edge of
Oh,
the lip of
no.
the seat and the back,
That's the hardest part of the chair.
the hardest part of the chair.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, I take that, which we still have.
Those
the
are beautiful chairs, by
That's-
the way.
These are nice, by the way. I don't like that. But we still have the chair in the basement.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we still have it somewhere.
That exact chair.
But it dented it in like it
so
did.
your
Yeah, it
face,
was
there's a
So
face
my forehead. took
yeah,
it,
I remember it
and
was
I
all
I
scuffed
was
up,
out.
and you were bleeding down the back of your head.
I mean, I was toast for about 5-6 seconds. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. Hey, but I did end that match. Remember, I picked that guy up over my head and threw him on him? Remember that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good match. It was packed in there. It was fun that night.
That was our
Hey,
good
and
night,
y'all
man.
know that after all this happened, your wrestling career up there at 431 Sports, ran in the gym. You know, I was in Walmart restroom. After all this happened, I was at the urinal using the restroom, and guess who sidles right up beside me at the urinal right beside me?
I'm anxious to know.
Buff
Buff
Bagwell.
Bagwell.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
I should have said something to him about the Sanders boys.
Well, me and the guy that was in there after he left, we just looked at each other like, was that Buff Bagwell? And the guy goes, I think that was Buff.
Hey, man, was that Buff Bagwell?
Exactly. That's exactly how it is.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, just how.
Hold on, let me go check.
Because I mean, you know, you think about like watching wrestling in the late '90s. I mean, Buff was the stuff, man.
Yeah.
Buff was the guy. I mean, for WCW.
You know, he's from
WCW,
Georgia,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Hey, what was your favorite moment of wrestling?
Of wrestling.
Yeah, like if you said this was my best moment, this is what I enjoyed the most, was this moment.
I think I hit one power slam on one of them one time, and I was like airborne. And
You
I'm
were.
coming,
You were. It was
and
awesome.
I,
When he said he was airborne, I remember what you're talking about. He
like
was
I'm
off the ground,
parallel,
and so was the other
and
guy.
I am coming down through
was-
this guy.
it was nasty.
and I think that may be it.
Hey, besides Buff Bagwell, he's probably the most famous y'all wrestled with
Oh,
when
by
he's
far,
done that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we really didn't have a chance, you know.
We didn't do it
Once I
long
broke
enough.
my hand, I was like, I can't.
Yeah, because at the time, like we were about to have kids.
Oh, Lord,
like,
it's
you
not
know,
gonna work
and
out.
We were like,
yeah.
we gotta.
Like, hey, how about
We gotta
being a little
grow up.
smart? You know?
Yeah.
Well, we gotta. You know, we're family men now.
But now, what about the opportunity that he said that you had?
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
what give us?
All right. Well, I'll answer my question. I asked you about the best moment. Well, mine was.
Yeah. What about the best moment for you?
It was
Mark?
either between the time that I threw Bebop the chair and then clotheslined it in
Oh
his face.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what my favorite moment of yours was? When you were wrestling that skinny kid, he was like lanky, that tall lanky kid, and you folded him up and like murdered
Yes.
him with a power bomb.
Yeah.
And I thought you killed him.
I think that was a choke slam.
He didn't
so I
kill
put
me.
him on the back of his
No,
neck.
I thought you power bombed somebody one night.
That was my
and-
second moment.
Okay.
All right. My next one was
crippled
we were,
the guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
you probably paralyzed
before the
him.
match, I was talking to him. I was like, listen, man. I was like, I really want to hit this power bomb. Like, I hadn't got to do one yet. And he was like, man, I don't care. Yeah, let's do it. Whenever. And so I was like, okay. All right. So this was after he broke his hand. So it was just me and Kenny wrestling at the time. And so I go in there and I hit this kid and I give him the power bomb and I flip him up. And when I say, just like he came off the ground with his power slam, I came off the ground with my power bomb. And I was midair.
Oh,
Come all the way down.
That's
Everything
awesome.
down.
And boom! And then when he hit, he bounced up off the ground. And I was like, yes.
And let me just say
Hope he
this
tucked his chin.
before you tell your story about your opportunity. Like, I just want to say that my brother would have been probably a superstar in the WWE if he'd have pursued it. So go
Yeah.
ahead, tell your story.
Okay, well, thanks for that, brother. I
No,
appreciate
I'm
it.
serious, dude. You had it all, man. You got the athleticism, you got the
size.
character. I mean, you got that. I mean, you got it,
Well,
dude.
Clint, you're a wrestling guy. What do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Dude, you could have put on
Take
a
size,
show,
and
man. Are you
gotta-
kidding me?
You got to
could've
be
put on a
just
show.
crazy enough to be willing to do anything.
All right, so this is the next. Here's the next part of the wrestling thing. So, we're coming to the end of our wrestling career, and that move I just talked about with the powerbomb. So, me and Kenny, we go to
Y'all went to
Birmingham.
Raw, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Raw in Birmingham. They come like they do about every other year, And we went to Raw. So Kenny for years had been. He was like, "Hey man, you want to go meet some guys, meet some of the wrestlers, some of the greats?" I was like, "What kind of question is that?" Yes, let's do it.
Do dogs pee on
He's
brick
like,
walls?
Yeah. So he said, he's like, all right, hey, look, they always stay at the Sheraton. I'll just go hang out in the bar at the Sheraton. They all come down there. I'm like, let's go hang out in the bar at the Sheraton. So we do after Raw. We go over there. We're hanging out in the bar. Arn Anderson.
Oh, wow.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. All these guys are starting to come in, and we're like, oh, my gosh. Like I used to fantasize about
Wait,
the-
whoa.
in the most pure athletic way ever.
Okay.
Like these
Yeah.
dudes were it when I was
Yeah,
a kid,
exactly.
man. And
I mean, Arn Anderson, like he was 60 when he was 40. I mean,
yeah. But anyway, so like, also, what's the guy's name who was the head of recruiting at the time? Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis.
John.
It
It's James or
It
John?
was
John
Animal
Laurinaitis.
Hall.
John.
John.
Yeah.
John Laurinaitis. He was in there with him. Okay. So he was the head of recruiting for WWE at the time. So we were in there, and me and Ken were like, hey, let's just go talk to these guys, you know? So we walk up, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Norman Anderson, John Laurinaitis, and I can't remember, some of the other guys are in there too, but because I took too many hits to the head playing football, you know, but that was pretty
Not
good.
wrestling.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
That chair shot got me.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're in there talking to them, and they start like turning, you know, I took pictures of Kenny of them, you know, with them, and they start turning their attention to me like, hey,
You got some size.
you're a big guy.
Yeah.
What's your story? You know, I was like, well, you know, I just finished at Alabama, you know, last year and played football. And on my phone at the time, I had this little candy bar phone, and it's before, you know, smartphones came
Right.
out, but I had taken like a little GIF file of that power bomb,
Yeah.
you know, and it was my background on my phone. So when I turned my phone on,
You
in
saw
the
it.
background, it was over and over. Boom. Like me flipping the guy in the air, flying, boom. Flipping and flying, boom. You know, and it's all constant. And I was like, well,
got
you know, we've
this.
been wrestling for like the last, I told him, you know, I play football, but we've been wrestling for a while, you know. And I was like, hey, check this out. And so I showed them. And I'd taken like a better clip of it, and I showed them the video on my phone. And they were like looking around at each other like, hey, they were like, hey, what do you think about going to Tampa and training to join the WWE? And I was like, me and Kenny looked at each other, and I was like,
Well, how about that?
I think that would be pretty awesome. And so like, they were like, okay, well, this is the number of our guy down there. We're going to get you in touch with him and send you down there and start training to join the WWE.
Wow.
And so, I know.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
and
Groundbreaking
so-
stuff here,
Wow.
man.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's awesome, you know. And so like we, you know, talked to him a little bit longer, and then we parted ways. And I left out of there. My heart was beating out of
Yeah.
my chest. Like, oh my gosh, like I really have an opportunity to do this, and it's
Yeah.
unreal.
And
Then I realized that all the documentaries and things I've watched about wrestlers over the years, where they sit and talk about they're on the road for 289,000 days a year, you know, and I was like, got my little baby boy over here. I'm like, no, man. And I was like, I can't leave my family.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to.
Yeah,
So
you
making
made
a
the
choice.
choice. You made
Family,
the choice.
family over dreams of wrestling. So, yeah.
But what
That was it.
opportunity, though, man.
It was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, they always talk
What
about
an
we want to
opportunity.
see guys that can turn heads in airports. We want big, tall, you know, football player guys. You know,
Well, it's great. And brings me on to my next point. Do we think that wrestlers are actually as big as what they say, as how big they say they are, like the Big Show?
no, and Big Show's not 7'4" or 500 pounds.
No.
Big Show's like 7'1", 400.
I don't think he's that
35
tall.
pounds.
I stood very, very close to him, and he might be an inch taller than me, or two.
Really?
Yes,
What are you?
I'm like a smidge away from 6'8". I'm right there at it.
Okay.
I'm 6'7" 3/4. Wearing these boots, I'm definitely 6'8".
Yeah.
You know? So, but yeah, he was right there with me. I say that because me and Kenny were standing in line for that same Raw show outside, and like, here he comes walking by, and people are like,
should've
"Oh, it's
just
the Big
bowed
Show.
up on him,
It's the
dude."
Big Show." And we're like, look around, and like I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking like
Hey, you should've
right here
been
at his
like-
eyes, you know.
Yeah.
You should have
And,
just.
and like people
pointed.
are looking at me like, "Hey man, how tall are you?" And I'm like, "I'm almost 6'8". I'm almost 6'8", and everybody was like, "The Big Show's not 7 foot, man. This is ridiculous."
He's a liar!
Yeah,
Riot!
dude.
I want a refund.
Steal his helmet off his shelf!
Yeah, so that was crazy. But anyway,
So
Wow,
y'all
super
do
close.
y'all do the wrestling thing. You get really close. Now let's kind of like fill in the gap from them to now.
well,
All right.
you want to go ahead and go first, I guess. Older brother.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of life. You know.
How many kids do you
I
have?
have 4 kids.
A wife
Oh,
and
we
4
also
kids.
talk
I
about
have
the
a-
fight.
Yeah, don't forget
Yeah.
about
Oh
Let's
yeah,
talk
let's
about the
go
Can
ahead.
I go ahead and jump
You
in the
wanna
fight?
talk the fight?
Let's
All
talk
right.
the fight,
So
and then we'll
one-
get into all that.
One of these mini wrestling shows that the high school had put on over the years. And
Nah.
I know that you loved them more than just about anybody because you love wrestling back in the day.
I thought it was the county basketball tournament. We were cleaning up after.
Was it?
I think
thought it was a
so.
wrestling show. You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, it might have been.
It was during.
Well,
yeah.
you know.
Well, whatever.
Well,
it
ruin
was.
the story.
Hey, it was an
Oh,
event.
sorry.
It was an event.
at our high school where our father's the principal of the high school, and mine and Matthew's jobs for years, not only during the summertime, us sitting in rolling chairs and going up and down the hallway, changing all the passwords on every single locker, and cleaning.
Yeah,
all
doing
summer
locker duty,
long.
resetting lockers.
See, a lot of y'all kids see like, what's his name?
Jake.
Jake Jake, you know how lucky you are, man. Like, we used to have to clean this place all the time, and it was, anyway. But no, we were thankful for the opportunity, Dad.
Spent a lot of time up here.
But anyway, so there was this one time where there was an event the night before. Dad's like, hey, come on, y'all load up. We're going to go to school. We're going to go clean it, you know. So we do. And he's like, hey, all right, Matthew, you go clean this area. Mark, you go sleep over here in these bleachers. You know, I'm going to be over here doing whatever. So we do. We start cleaning. Well, anyway, me and Matthew have a long history of.
Yeah, let's give them the history.
As much, and when I start talking about how us fighting and stuff, let me just say that my brother is my best friend, besides my wife. You know, my best friend in this whole world, and I love him more than anything because
Absolutely.
we've been partners in crime for
long time.
My 39 years on this earth, but anyway.
You're 39?
Yes, I am.
So you're over 40?
40, I'm about to be 41.
About to be 41.
Wow, y'all don't look 40 or 39.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
What do I look?
It's our youthful
56.
spirit. But anyway, so we're cleaning up, and something happens just like it always does.
No, let me tell them what happened.
All right, go ahead.
All right?
I don't remember.
Let me tell them what happened before you blow the story.
I hope they get
and
into
you
it.
start telling falsehoods live on this podcast.
There isn't a pre-cut
we're good.
wedge
I'm going
in
to
the
go ahead
table
and
for us.
say in classic Matthew and Mark, the history of Matthew and Mark, classic Matthew and Mark fashion here. I'm up on the stage sweeping under bleachers, okay?
That sounds right.
Yeah, it does sound right. I'm sweeping under bleachers, killing myself, all right? And I look out in the hall as I'm sweeping bleachers, and Mark's out there twirling garbage cans out in the hall.
Sounds
Can
about
you
right.
confirm?
That sounds about right.
Can you
That sounds
confirm,
about right.
David
Well, I
Murphy?
can't confirm. That
No,
sounds
I'm just
right,
saying.
though.
Can
Yeah.
you confirm that my
Yeah.
that
checks
fits?
out.
It
Uh-huh.
checks.
Yeah,
It checks.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sick of sweeping under the bleachers and killing myself, which is what I told him when I walked out in the hall, and I snatched the garbage can away from him and threw in the broom, and said, "You go up there and sweep
By gosh.
the
Dude.
stage,
Dude.
Yeah.
and I'm taking the trash out." And so I snatched the garbage can.
Oh,
He's
Mark,
got the broom in
hold
hand.
on. Can I just say
Go
that
ahead.
at this time, we're both college athletes.
Wait a minute.
We're-
Okay, y'all aren't in high
very
school.
well- no.
We're probably in our physical peak.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought y'all, when you
Like
told
a
us this
couple
story
of
originally,
gorillas.
I thought you were in high. I thought y'all were in high
No.
school.
Oh,
we
no,
were
sir.
back home somehow.
Something else like something going on.
We didn't know what it was. Maybe it was Christmas time.
It could have been.
Is that it,
and
maybe?
maybe
If
a
it's
basketball tournament.
Yeah,
Christmas
that makes
bash,
sense.
Something
All
like
right,
that.
maybe, yeah. Well, go ahead.
So we're just,
Well, yeah. All right. So when he, and honestly, when you said that, it kind of made me remember that a little bit.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember why we started fighting.
Yeah, well,
Now
there
it
you
makes
go.
A lot of sense.
Yeah. Hey, well, let me just tell you why we started fighting, okay?
Well, all right. So anyway, so we're duking it out in the hallway right over here.
Hold on, wait a minute. He says he's going to take out the trash.
No.
What do you do?
No, you're blowing. Listen.
I'm
All right, listen. He's got the broom because I gave him the broom, right?
So you turn around.
I turn around and take the trash.
Yeah.
I'm
All right,
taking the
hey,
trash.
this broom is one of those.
It's
really
an industrial
thick
thick ones.
thick
All right.
broom, not
Wood.
some little
wood.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, wood.
Thick broom.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big one.
2-inch.
Yeah, the big one. And I'm just pushing the trash out. Well, all of a sudden, Captain Insano over here, he runs a 40-yard dash.
Sano hits you with a power bomb.
He hit me with an industrial broom. He runs a 40-yard dash through my back with that broom.
And it snapped.
Whack! And it snaps in half.
Yeah.
And it goes to the floor, and that's where
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
where
we
the
went
rest
straight
of
down
it.
to the floor and
yeah.
we were duking it out. Okay, well,
Mark's on top of me.
I'm
So
on
you're
top of
like
Matthew.
20, he's like 19
And
or
we
something
had
like
spun
that.
around
Probably,
to where
yeah,
I was facing
19,
back down the
18,
hallway
something.
towards the offices. Now we're laying right in front of the back
We're
exit
right
of
here.
Nashville High School.
We're right here.
Over here in this joint,
right here. Yeah,
this
here. Yeah, right here.
intersection over here, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
So
mark
we're-
out the
We're not
scene of the
filming in
crime.
that school,
You know,
but yeah.
there used to be. Is there still vending machines right
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're, I'm the ag hall's right here, and I'm on top of Matthew, and we're just scrapping. He's punching me, I'm punching him, and the next thing I see, or I hear, but it's like one of those times when you're in the middle of something chaotic and you hear but you don't hear.
Right.
Our dad, who's the principal at the time, screaming at us bloody murder to stop fighting, you know, and a lot of choice words, and was
He didn't. No, he didn't say.
later on. But anyway, Dad, it's okay, man. It was crazy.
Dad, we forgive you, Dad.
It's okay.
That's all right.
All right, so hold on. This is about to get good. Okay. So my dad notices throughout life that he has to do things to me in a certain way when I get going that has to stop me, okay? And that's fine. You know, I'm pretty crazy. So I'm on top of my brother punching him, and my dad's screaming, and the next thing I see is some feet coming at me, and I look up, and my dad has taken a crow hop swing, and he says this didn't happen. But I remember it very well, a broom swinging and hit me right in the face and busted my nose.
No, it was a broom hit you in the face and it busted your nose.
Yeah, the broom hit me in the
Did
face.
he crow?
Yeah, not
But
Dad.
he crow hop. He good old.
I mean,
classic.
He took a good hack.
He took a
He
good,
took a
you know,
good
it was a good
hack,
swat.
man.
He was trying
Yeah.
to get me off, you know. I mean,
I mean,
anybody
think
that's
about that Sasquatch.
Think about a
Like, what
gorilla
you gonna
on
do
top
to-
of something else you love. Like, oh, I love this gorilla, but
like
I also
on your
love
pet
that other
chihuahua.
gorilla. Anyway,
Little eyes
how's that
bugging
gonna
out.
go?
hey, but let me just say this: it worked. Great
It
job,
did.
Dad.
Good job, Dad.
Like it splattered my nose. But it
Hey, you
didn't break it.
neutralized. You
You
neutralized
neutralize the situation with some
situation,
straw
yeah.
and an industrial broom. It's okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah. It was pretty funny because, like, you know, he after he destroyed us verbally after that, you know, we ended up powwowing back in his office and we took a picture and there was like blood going down my shirt.
So we got a
And we were
picture.
holding half the broom each.
Each
you
of
know.
us. There's blood everywhere.
Right beside the Bobo dip, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, now look, y'all have been boxing since you were in elementary school.
I was
I mean,
hoping we would get
I didn't
into
even think
that
about that.
and get into probst and all that.
well, the
you know.
boxing gloves, we would just stand around. Everybody stand around and watch y'all
Before
box with
practice.
boxing gloves. Yeah.
Before practice,
Yeah, y'all,
me and him, we were 4th, 5th graders, and we'd
Yeah.
be up there probst to get us in the middle. It just,
yeah.
and
Those
we'd
boxing
box,
gloves,
dude.
yeah.
Before they went to practice that year in '92 when they went to semi.
So basically, what y'all people out there are hearing is that Rush Pros used to get a couple of underage children under the supervision of our father, might I add,
Yeah.
which was okay.
Yeah, that was
Supervision.
consent.
Who just
there.
happened to be, you know,
One of the coaching tactics of the early '90s was to get underage children to box each other to get the team pumped up, and it worked. They were really
Yeah,
good.
they were
Yeah.
good. They were real
good.
good. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was really afraid of you, by the way.
You
Like,
should have been.
at the time. Like, yeah, but I try. You beat me all the time.
Yeah,
but
of course.
it toughened me up. It toughened me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, the last time we got in a fight, our last fight,
That wasn't the last one.
Yesterday.
the one in the hallway out
Yeah.
here in college, no. It was another one happened the next year, I think. It's right before our grandmother died, and God,
Oh my God.
it was the last fight we ever got in, and it was well, I can't really say that. But anyway,
It was a
I ended
doozy?
up. It was bad. I ended up knocking his back tooth out.
Oh, yeah.
And I got so.
He forgot. Oh, yeah! Yeah!
I got.
I missed that tooth. It's my favorite tooth.
Yeah.
I got so emotionally distraught over that because I hurt him, and,
Yeah.
I never wanted to hurt him.
Yeah, he hit me. He hit me here.
I had
half my tooth.
I was on top
flying
of
out.
him and just went, yeah, boom, and he spit his tooth out, and like
We made a
from then
vow.
on, it was like, no, never again, you know.
Not in the face, not the money. Okay, we're good.
No face shot.
Hey, but one time we were home during the summer. I think I was in high school. You were in high school, maybe, and I had bought this really sweet, the best Nerf gun I had ever bought in my life.
Oh boy.
And it was one that you could pump up like 100 times, you know. just-
Yeah. Oh,
and it
man.
built this little meter
Yes.
up on it.
Yes, I know exactly what
You
you're
know what
talking
I'm
about. Yes.
And it would hold like 50 darts, and it was this big Gatling gun looking
Yeah.
thing. And you could pump it up,
It was
and it was
awesome.
like not too big, but it shot so fast and accurate.
Oh.
And it was my favorite gun ever. Well, anyway, me and Matthew were hanging out during the summer, and he's in the living room, and I pop around on him. I had that thing just.
I think you
all
hit me
the way
like right
forward.
here in the eye.
Yeah, I got you
Yeah.
in the face, and I just let it go on him. Things just firing at him, just tick, 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 you know, and it spilled out in the front yard, and we yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah, I think I wound up smashing the gun on the ground. Maybe,
Yeah, I
too.
think you broke it. That was the end of it.
We had some good ones, man.
Yeah, that was rough.
Even though, I mean, as much as we fought, we loved each other.
Always,
Even more,
yes.
though.
Yeah.
Always.
Now,
Those
so
both things.
let's go ahead and again let's build out your lives from then to now. You both
Yeah.
have families. You're both married. You both
Right,
have
yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
You both
I
live
married
around in the state.
Wonderful, wonderful woman from Mortonville, Alabama, Miss Joy Brasher. And we've had 4 kids. We live in Tuscaloosa now. Work
Mm-hmm.
for Cowan Equipment. Just living life, man. You know, living in Northport.
Just hanging out.
Running crazy with kids. So
Yeah.
very active children. God's blessed us with some fantastic children and health, and we're just living it, man. So
Living it up. That's
living
awesome.
it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind of athletes like Daddy?
Well, as a matter of fact, reason my voice is the way it is today, little man, he went gonzo yesterday in a baseball tournament game, and I
Nice.
got a little excited. So because he missed first base, and then I had to yell while everything's going crazy. I had to yell at him, get him to come back, But
After he hit a home run.
Good
Good job,
job,
JB.
Yeah,
That was a bomb.
Good job,
man.
Jim. Yeah, he absolutely smashed one yesterday. He's 10 years old. But anyway, I had my oldest daughter, Maggie. She plays basketball. She's going into the 10th grade, and she's on the dance line. And my middle daughter, Caroline, is a majorette, and that's all she does. She's dedicated her time to that. She's really good at it. She's going into the 9th grade, and then we tried to have a boy, and we wound up having boy-girl twins. So the twins are going into the 5th grade, and we got a lot going on. So
Don't worry, Isabel. I remember to say your name.
and Isabel, sorry, baby.
Sweetheart, I got you.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Mark. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm married.
So what are the grades again?
10th, 9th, and going into the 5th. There we go to Northside High School up in Northport. So and Walker Elementary.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Oh, is it my turn now?
It is your turn.
No,
So what are we?
No, so you're saying about Propes.
No, I married Heather Brown. She was from Steele, and
She's a
moved over here.
transplant.
Yeah. Graduated a year after you. Was in your class at one time.
Much
And,
like everybody.
Yeah, just like everybody else in St. Clair County. But we have 5 children, and ages ranging from 16 to 4.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll give you the rundown on that. So, we had started really realizing how much we loved each other at one point, and we started talking about, hey, if we ever got married, how many
Seems
kids?
like y'all did that about 16 years ago.
Okay.
There's nothing like a brother's love, man. I mean, there's nothing like a brother's love.
So we were talking about, hey, how many kids do you want one day if we ever do get married? And I was like, man, I love kids. I would like to have like 5 kids. She was like, I would like to have 5 too.
Oh wait, that is the number that y'all said?
Yeah,
Is it really?
Yeah, true story. And
Maybe you've told me that, but
I know it's a God thing because when we got to 3, we were like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep it together, man.
Right.
It's a lot. And then let me think. 7 years after we had our middle child, we had our next set of girls. So anyway, I'll run down like you did. My son Cade, he's 16, just turned 16, and
He'll be going into the 10th grade, right?
Yeah, and just preface this, like I just took a job as an offensive coordinator at Westbrook, and
School right down the road.
yeah, down the road, and he's coming with me to play ball for me there, and I have 4 daughters on. It's my son. I got 4. Me and my wife have 4 daughters, and our oldest daughter's 15. Her name's Kaylee. She plays volleyball and is an incredible artist. And Maddie's 13. She'll be 14 this year. And so we had them 3 years in a row, 06, 07, 08. It was like for a while, man.
Yeah,
we had
we
kids
were-
like every 6 months.
every 6
one of
months,
us was
man.
popping a kid out. It was crazy.
It was
for a while.
wild. Yeah.
It was. And so, yeah, Madeline, she's 13. She's a volleyball player, plays basketball, and she's funny, man. She cracks me up every day. But then, we had Naomi. She'll be going into Kate and Kayla are both going into 10th grade this year. Maddie's going into 8th. Naomi will be a first grader here at Asheville, and she's 6. Our old Naomi, she's a little sweetheart.
She'll have my mom.
Oh, really?
My mom teaches over there at the elementary school.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So
And
at some point.
Very intelligent little girl.
Yeah, very smart.
Very smart.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but people talk about how all kids are different, and it doesn't matter that the same people raise them; they're all different.
Yeah.
It's
They
so
really are,
true.
man.
Yeah.
It's so true because my caboose of the family, Sadie Kate. Whew, hey, that girl's wide open, man. And she's 4. She turned 4 this year, and she's wide open. She marches to the beat of her own drum, and really from the time she was a baby, I thought she was the most agile thing I'd ever seen because she'd be running full speed at something.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's about to die, and then put the brakes on and cut, go a different way, and like she's something else. But yeah, we're blessed, man. She'll be in pre-K here this year. She's
Awesome.
coming to pre-K.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we're absolutely blessed. God blessed us both and blessed our whole family, So we're just, I feel fortunate we have the family structure we have, and mine and Mark's love for each other, and our whole family's that way. So,
Y'all gotta have the best
sense?
sense of humor.
Well, I was gonna say with me and my wife since she was a cheerleader here and we went to school together, like we met here, and she pretty much forced me into dating her. Hey, look. I'm not saying that in a bad way, baby. Okay? This is a good thing, all right? But so coming off the summer where I accepted the scholarship to Bama, right? Going into my senior year.
Yeah.
Me and her had already known each other. Like, we flirted all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I thought a lot about her, you know, and her and our cousin Savannah were like real best friends, you know. So Savannah came up to me, hey, what do you think about going out with Heather and dating her?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is before, you know, football season started, and I was like, well, I really got to focus this year on football. You know, I don't need any distractions. You know, I got to really get out there and prove my worth. You know,
Yeah.
I'm worth the scholarship to Bama. So I had to let her down. You know, like, it was not good, but it was cool. I kept flirting with her because I liked her.
It all worked out.
Yeah, and so we started dating like during basketball season.
Yeah.
We've been together 22 years.
High school sweetheart.
High school sweethearts,
Crazy,
man.
man.
She actually, let me tell you a juicy little story.
I don't know, man.
Is it going to lead to a sixth kid?
Oh no,
Okay.
that's been taken care of. Nah, just forget it. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, the day.
Well, never mind. No, we're going.
Well, so it was basketball season, so like me and her and Savannah, and I can't remember who she was dating at the time. But anyway, we'd all went back to her house just to kind of hang out after school. So we didn't have to be back at school for a couple hours, you know, for the games and stuff. So we're just sitting out, and that's kind of the day we started dating, really. And but she planted one on me. We were all in was the conference room still? The conference room in the high school?
Don't ask
Listen,
me.
man.
It's the assistant principal's office now.
Assistant principal's office where
Yeah.
the old conference room is?
Yep.
Okay. So we were all hanging out in there before the game. We used to do that a lot. Just chilling, like relaxing.
Unsupervised.
Unsupervised.
Yeah.
And so like
My dad ran the school.
at some point Heather had gotten me alone in there and she pretty much forced me to give her a kiss that day. I love you, babe. Sorry. But it was excellent. It started a wonderful chain of events that led to where we are now, and I'm very blessed.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So we've heard all about the Sanders boys. We do want to mention that you guys do have a sister.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
So we haven't
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
talked about it. I don't want her to feel left out.
No, she'd
No.
never be left
Awesome,
out.
awesome person.
The wonderful Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Anna's
Anna
amazing,
Sanders.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love them all. Love them all.
Woman of many talents. She's very
One of
talented.
two Anna Sanders to come from Shoal Creek.
Absolutely.
Two Shoal Creek Anna Sanders.
Yeah.
Less than a couple miles from each other.
Exactly.
Hey,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Before we go, I don't know when you're going to wrap this up, but I want to get this in for
We
any.
still have to do recommendations.
We do, yeah.
Hey, any recollections at all between the two of you about Marion Military Institute and fall camp?
Yeah,
Anything?
man. Yeah, I just.
Is there anything you remember specifically?
I just.
didn't go.
You never went.
I went on
That would have
Okay.
been. That would have been my.
That was early on, wasn't it?
Yeah, that
That'd
would have
my
been your
ninth
sophomore.
grade,
Okay.
or 10th grade year,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I was junior
Not
high
the
that year.
We didn't
10th
go when
grade
you was a junior.
I don't
Sophomore?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, the year before was the last
Alright.
year we went. Yeah, I mean that was pretty good. I mean,
Look at those wheels turning right there.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I just remember thinking about like that
Quitting
was
football.
yeah.
Well, you couldn't
Yeah.
quit because you couldn't.
No, you couldn't get home.
You couldn't get home.
'Cause you're
That's
stuck
a good
in
thing about
Marion.
being down there. You couldn't quit.
Yeah, and
was a good team building.
It was yeah, it was a lot like remember the Titans, you know, like that kind of setup.
Well, one thing I wanted to. Do you remember us putting tape on y'all's doors at night?
On your rooms.
Vaguely, yeah.
So that you
I
could-
think so.
Well, and then the last night we were there one year, I remember this happening that, we put that tape on y'all's door so we know if the door
Door was open, yeah.
Well, every bit of the tape was on Coach Ross's door that last morning. And y'all had been out all night. But every bit of the tape was on his door. You don't
I
remember
don't
that?
remember that. No.
Remember that happening? I just wonder if you had any
That's pretty
recollections.
funny right there.
I just,
So that-
I don't have a whole lot of recollections about a lot of specifics back
But
then. you
one
know.
thing I do want to say about
I might
Friday
have a
nights
couple.
when y'all were playing and when I was coaching then is that there was some teams that you just wondered about on Friday nights. I've been around some of those.
Yeah.
That you just wondering if they was going to show up,
Right.
if they wanted to
Right.
play or not. Didn't have to worry about it when y'all were playing.
No.
I was
Yeah.
very glad to go to war with y'all on
Thank
Friday
you,
night.
Coach. Same here.
Knew I could count on you.
Absolutely. And
Well, there
it
was
was
a lot of school spirit back then, man. I
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I think
we
about
have a
our
lot of
time.
spirit.
It wasn't only the school and us as players and coaches but the community as a whole, man. It was just
Everybody.
It is different. It does
everybody
different.
was involved. I mean, there's a lot of
Well,
spirit
everything
throughout.
shut down. Everything right here shut down. You went to a ball game, whether basketball or football or baseball.
Yeah.
But I mean, success breeds a lot of that as well. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
successful, there's going to be a lot of people.
Right.
Hey, one other thing I want to mention before we move on and wrap it up and everything is y'all talk about being at Georgia and getting barked at.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Brother
Sampling.
Sampling? Yeah.
Sampling.
Sardis
Yeah.
barking on the sidelines and getting a flag.
He got a flag.
He got a 15-yarder.
He got a 15-yarder. Dude.
Hey, look.
Yeah,
So-
I remember seeing how embarrassed he was after that. I hated it for him.
Yeah.
Man. He
He's
had so much
not
spirit.
he's not the only chaplain from First Baptist Asheville
to get
that
flagged.
Jay didn't get a flag. He
didn't get a
almost
flag.
got
He
a
almost
flag.
got a flag.
Jay Stewart, who was our chaplain, he's been our chaplain the past 7 years. He almost got a flag. He's not going to be it anymore.
Yeah.
He almost got a flag
Shay's first
last year.
game.
Shay's first game as head coach. They call a foul on Fu, right? They call a penalty on was it a late hit or something?
No. Was it not on Clay Keller when he body slammed that kid?
I thought Fu was in. Jay said Fu was involved. Anyway.
Oh! Fu went for a 2-point conversion. Though. We made him jump.
That's right.
And
That's
it's an
right.
extra point.
That's right.
We had a yard, and he
I
crossed,
late
and they
hit
said
call.
that he didn't.
Yeah. And Jay, one of the
Lost
nicest human beings on the planet. Like,
Lost it.
I mean, has his doctorate in theology. Amazing
He's a good guy.
human
I met
being.
him,
Yeah, great. Just fish.
Hey, just got in the game, man.
Well,
He
just got
prefaces.
was living.
Prefaces. This was the 2020 season, so it's COVID year. So he's in
Yeah.
there. Like this right here. You gotta that's the most one. That's the terrible call. You can't say nothing. You're terrible, Rick.
And it was. That ref was terrible the whole game.
Yeah.
Seeing him without a neck there.
You should see me shirtless.
Oh, I have.
Many
Can I
times.
talk
Don't
about
tempt him.
Clint
Don't
for a
tempt him.
I want
Don't
He'll do it.
trigger
to
him.
talk. I ain't got to talk about Clint yet.
Okay, talk about it.
Because all the listeners out there who love y'all already are gonna love like Clint. I mean, how many people have come on here who saw you in action back in the day? Besides Coach Whaley, I know the Sweat Dogs
Whaley and
episode was
Justin.
good.
Whaley and Justin. I mean, obviously Brandon and
Yeah,
you passed.
There would be
I
days.
vaguely remember him, but I was very young.
There would be days I'll be walking down the hallway going to class, and all of a sudden there would
Hammy.
be people, be slam packed with students trying to get places. I would see like a wave, like down the hall, a wave of kids like fish in the ocean when a shark's about to try to get them, This, whew. And then I would be like, what is going on? And then I would look down and see this joker belly flopping down the hallway, just going nuts. Man. Like, and I just remember, dude, you used to crack me up so much, man. I don't know if I ever told you that.
I love you, man.
Hey, but I want to brag on my brother right quick.
Oh, dude. you
Listen,
gotta do that.
you're humble. I
I'm
get it.
good. Go
But
ahead.
look, when
Go
it
ahead.
comes to great athletes that ever pass through these hallways, all right, my brother was all-state as a football player and was all-state as a baseball player and was all-region as a basketball player and could play golf too and did it all.
Never hit a golf ball.
And did it all. And just phenomenal. Like the amount of athleticism that I have is nothing in comparison to what he was, man. Just watching him go through, it was unreal, man. It really was. Like there's really nothing like it, honestly.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, I watched this joker take on a lead block in football at Ohatchee one time, okay? We're at Ohatchee playing, and there's a guy, they're running a sweep towards the sideline, and my brother takes the lead blocker, takes him on, and throws him into the running back. The running back fumbles, and my brother recovers the ball. You don't see stuff like that.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You don't ever see stuff
You
like
remember
that.
that?
And
That was Moody, yeah.
then, it was Ohatchee. I was there. I remember seeing it.
Was it the same game at Moody that?
Oh,
The
Coach
girl.
Brown.
Oh, speaking of Moody.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it. up.
No, thanks.
You-
I mean, I shouldn't. We shouldn't tell it, but
It was really funny.
but let me say before we tell it that since we're doing our heart to heart, sign offs here or whatever, I've never been more proud of anything in my life than I have been of you. Just achieving what you achieved and completing what you completed. And
Well, I appreciate that, brother.
You'll always be my best friend, and
You too, man.
We
I
almost
love you,
ran
man.
that moment.
Yeah, we did.
and I mean, hey,
No, I already
we've
know
been
this.
through
I already
we've been
know
through
this.
thick and thin. You know it.
Yeah,
you know.
we've been through a lot, man.
Yeah, and talk about some basketball game. I mean, you got some game, dude. I mean, you're
remember-
you're
hey,
like
I
like
think-
Dirk Nowitzki out there,
Hey.
you know.
Hey, do you remember that time we were playing in that church league, like up in Aniana, and we brought the ball down the court? Or I did. I brought it down just randomly, and I hit that guy started guarding me, and I did a little spin move on him into the corner, and I popped one right in front of the 3-point line and just swished it on the
fadeaway.
little fadeaway.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh my gosh, man!"
Yeah, man.
And I was like, "That was awesome."
Yeah,
man.
that was it. That's it.
I played up there. Did we play against each other?
We might have.
Okay.
We could have been there at the same time.
What about this story though that y'all don't want to tell that you can't tell?
I mean, look,
Well, I ain't trying to embarrass.
I'm gonna be
nobody.
honest with you.
okay.
I told the story at the Hall of Fame
Oh.
thing about
It fell on
Grossman's
deaf
tooth,
ears.
and it
Because
was like crickets, but
You had to be there.
Yeah.
You just had to
it
be
was.
there.
I mean, it was no reaction whatsoever.
Okay, you talking about Coach Cross?
Gross, man.
I loved it.
And I actually, Gross texted me. He texted me a couple weeks ago and was just like, he was telling me, congratulations, man, I heard, you know, and I actually told him that I had told the story, and he thought it was hilarious. But anyway, we're at Moody, the game Mark was talking about a while ago.
It was not Moody. I swear it was.
Okay,
Believe
it was
me, just
Moody.
believe me.
Hey.
It was Moody.
All right, let's just go.
It was Moody.
Let's go.
And we're getting beat like 14-10, and we're not playing good at all. And I think I'd committed to Alabama that week or something. I mean, it was odd. But we go into the locker room, getting beat, not playing worth crap. And Gross is I think he comes in, does he punch the dry erase board too?
He
Yeah,
did
it seemed
something
like he
about
does.
I think he
punches
punched the
board,
dry
yeah.
erase board because we're all sitting there. Dry erase board's over there by the door.
All right, dry race board's there. Coach Gross in front of it, and then I got Matthew sitting in front of me.
Yeah, I'm on the
Luke
front row.
right, Jake
Luke,
Neal. I'm behind my brother
Jake,
right here.
Josh,
Okay?
we're all
looking up
sitting,
at
Keith
Gross.
Beeson, we're all sitting up there on the front. And Gross is just going to town, man. I mean, he's lost it.
He lost it. Hey, we deserved it, though.
We deserved it, 100%. Wasn't playing with the crowd. We're better than that.
we were.
You know. And he says something, and I cannot remember what he said.
He garbled the words.
But all I know is that I got my head down, you know, moving my legs. I'm just like, just pissed, you know. We're like, we got to get back out there and get going because, I mean, we got to go play. And I see something hit the floor, and everybody beside me, they all react. They're like, you know, and put their heads down because I guess they're looking at him. I'm sitting here like this, just listening to him, and I see everybody just put their heads down, and I'm like, what just happened? You know, like, what just happened? And I see something hit the floor. It's kind of out of my view, and I see Gross reach down, and that's when I look up, and he'd been mumbling something. And I'm like,
Probably about it.
That's his side of it. I'm behind him, and what I saw was, you know how sometimes
everybody
like,
had a good vantage point of it.
You know how
though,
sometimes like when you catch something at the last possible moment and you don't really know what you saw, but I was looking, you know, I was kind of down like Matthew, and I looked up at about the time he started gurgling them words, and that thing was already coming out of his mouth and started falling. He was like, you know. But you know, tell him why.
Well, Gross apparently had a partial on a denture.
Yeah.
And nobody knew that, you know. I mean, he never thought he had a false tooth up front. And so anyway,
middle of a halftime
like
rant,
I didn't know until after the game. We're on the bus going home. I'm sitting by Luke, or I forget who I was sitting by, but I think I was sitting by Luke, and I was like, I asked him, I'm like, what happened? Like, what happened in the locker room at halftime, you know? And he's like, you didn't see that? And I was like, no. He's like, Gross spit his freaking tooth out, man. I was like, what? So anyway, Monday we get to practice, and everybody's in there in the locker room, you know, and Gross comes out, and he pulls it out, you know, and everybo's going nuts, just laughing. It's great, man. It's Springville week. That was a good week, too.
Everybody should have showed up with chiclets.
Hey, tell them about how you got pissed at me at the Springville game. Remember that?
Oh yeah, we were playing Springville at halftime. We were
was at
driving. It was at Springville my senior year. They beat us 27-24.
Over top of the concession stand.
27-24.
Oh, and that game, that was another one though. We get off the bus at like 5:30, and we're walking the field, and like stands are like full, man. I mean,
Yeah, it was
nuts.
weird.
Because we were ranked number 3. I think they were ranked 2 or maybe 1.
Big game, huge game.
Or maybe we were 5, they were 3,
It was
something like
something.
that. But we're both ranked. It was
Both
big.
undefeated.
Asheville Springville game, man, it was nuts. I'd already said in the paper that week, like, everybody in Asheville hates Springville, everybody in Springville hates Asheville, you know. And I was like, oh,
Hey,
I
that
might
still
should have
lives
said something
true
different.
for some of us around here. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Well, but our mom.
That's funny
our
that my
mom was-
mom's from Springville,
Our
my
mom was
dad's
Miss
from Asheville.
Springville, and her dad was Mr. Asheville. So there you
Yeah,
go.
so there you go.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True story.
One of my favorite people on this planet is Miss Springville.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's Miss Springville.
Hey, but she
It's
wore
kind
the
of
crown
like
well,
me finding
man.
out you're an Auburn guy today. You know? It's really,
Look, man,
really disappointing.
Look, hey, and
Yeah.
you're just going to be even more disappointed when you find out I grew up a Bama fan.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
it.
I heard
I
that
get
in
it.
one
Yeah.
episode. I was like, this little dude, but I get it.
Dude.
Turncoat.
I
Yeah,
mean,
turncoat, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay, buddy.
War Eagle. And the Tigers are going to be playing tonight. I don't know how I'm
9
going to watch
o'clock.
that game. 9 o'clock.
I
man.
watched it all the way till the bottom of the ninth last night. I passed
I
out.
tried, dude.
Not when everybody hears this, just tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
What
Oh,
was I
we're talking
saying?
about you getting mad at me.
Yeah. That big
Oh,
Springle
yeah,
game.
Yeah. We were going into halftime, and we were driving, and we were trying to score because I think they were up on us like 14-3 or something like that. I think I kicked a field goal or something. I don't know what had happened, but we were driving down. We're about on the 30. We'd had a good little drive. We got to where they were playing off our receivers, so I had Keith Beeson out there. Remember, he was just running a little stop route, and we were just hitting them with a hitch, I think. We're just wearing them out, worked our way down. And then we got down. We were on the left hash going in, and Gross calls the play. It's supposed to be a roll out to the right? Well, Bishop, Coach Paul Bishop was our offensive line coach. We had a system where Gross called backs and receivers, and Bishop called the line protection and the play for the line. So we never got in the huddle unless it was, something where we got in there and huddled and, got in the eye and ran something. So anyway, he called it, and Gross forgot to do that for the sprint out, or something happened, or Bishop did or something. I don't know what happened. So anyway, long story short, line's blocking just set protection kind of, so they're letting them go and blocking up field. We're running the sprint out. Well, I catch snap and start to sprint out, and I got 3 dudes in my grill, man.
Yeah.
I mean, just hammer me.
And who's the first person he sees?
The first person I see is my right tackle, who's my brother. Okay. So the time expires, and we're running off the field and running off the field and going up to the locker room up the hill, and I see Mark, and I grab him by the face mask, and I'm just ripping his face mask like, "What are you doing?" And then I felt horrible.
Well, Wisnat tore us up that night too.
They did.
Counter trap.
Well, the counter trap, man, they'd stand straight up, and they were all 6'5".
Yeah.
They were huge.
Well, I wouldn't do a
Well,
good job.
Corey
at
was
defense.
Mr. Football that year.
Yeah.
he
He was Mr. Football for the state that year.
If we shut him down, we'd have won that game.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Well, if we at least stopped him a few times.
Yeah. And that was the thing. They run it right at me, too, all night. I was playing strong safety, and they just kept running.
Well,
I just had to go in there and dive, man, just try to make a play.
We didn't shut that down good either.
No, we didn't.
We opened it up for
yeah,
them.
yeah. It was like
Made
every
it easy
time,
for 'em.
every time they run it was just that counter draw.
He's a good player, though.
Oh, he's great, man.
Speaking of good players, let's get to our recommendations. I'm going to start.
Not a bad segue.
I'm going to start. Speaking of bicycles, now, there's Mark's like, what's happening?
I'm intrigued.
I've got 2 recommendations. They both happen to be songs. The first recommendation is mainly just because Mark's here.
Okay.
I Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. That is a recommendation. Now, I make that recommendation.
It was a good song when it came out.
Why did you sigh?
Well, because I was hoping
Just
for a
kind
little
of-
more gunpowder in the barrel.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just kind of.
here's why. Here's why it's my recommendation. It was co-written by Mark Sanders. So whomever Mark Sanders is, there's a Mark Sanders out there that wrote "I Hope You Dance."
When I was in college, I just did a Google search. People
Yeah.
Google search
Yeah.
their name, and before pictures of me playing football got on the internet, it was the Mark
Doctor.
Sanders band, and
Yes, it was.
it was the Mark Sanders band that had their own logos, and I was like, "That's so cool," and I would save them and stuff. But anyway,
It might be the same guy.
might have been the same.
Might be the
band.
same
Dr. Mark
guy.
Sanders.
It was a country
most
band.
common,
It was a country band.
Yeah. I mean, I Hope You
Or Dr.
Dance.
Mark Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
cool.
then
There's also a Mark Sanders that lives in Moody. Met him one time. It was weird.
What?
Yeah.
really,
You're Mark
Short,
Sanders?
skinny
I'm
guy.
Mark Sanders.
Yeah, I met him one.
the
It was really
opposite
weird.
of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Both Caucasian, blonde-headed guys, but he was
It's
short,
short.
and skinny, and
It's
I was
like what
tall
you might be
March.
if you were
Portly.
short and
Portly.
not portly, exactly.
And then my other ones. So that's kind of a throwaway recommendation. But My real recommendation, and this comes from season 4 of Stranger Things. I'm a big Stranger Things guy.
Good. Hey,
finished
good,
that.
real
I
good
just
stuff.
finished that.
I cannot wait for Volume 2.
Oh,
The last
man,
2
gonna be
episodes coming out in
good.
July.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's
I
July.
hated the way that left me hanging.
Well, it's 8
Is it
and 9.
July 1st
It's
or
July
11th?
1st.
I was like, can we just
July
end this?
1st?
Can we end?
Because I got Better Call Saul I got to watch, too.
Vecna?
Vecna.
I know,
Okay,
I
was
know,
like,
yeah.
can we please end Vecna?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's coming. It's coming.
July
and
11th,
apparently
yeah.
there's going to be a
See,
season
one's
5
the
too.
First, one's the
But
11th.
anyway, Separate Ways, which is an original Journey song, but the guys that did the music for the show, Kyle Dixon and I think Mark Stein, I can't remember the other guy's name. Anyway, they did a remix for the show, so it's Separate Ways, the Bryce Miller Alloy Tracks remix from the Stranger Things soundtrack. That whole soundtrack actually is it's killer. It's got music from that whole time period, like the Mamas and the Papas. It's got some stuff from them. Highly recommend it. It's really, really, really good. So that's
Very
my
nice.
that's my recommendation.
Very nice.
That's all. That's all we got.
That's all I got.
Songs too.
Leanne Womack and Separate
Well,
Ways.
the reason why I sighed about Leanne Womack is because back when did you write down what year that song came out? Was it like
it was early
Spur-
odds.
Spurrier was still at Florida because I have a feeling that you might be going to the
It's
same
just
place
that
I am.
everybody at that time period, when something bad happened or
Yeah.
they set that song in the background, and I was just like,
Yeah.
man.
I hope you dance.
Yeah.
Steve Spurrier had that as his.
Yeah, I just
like,
feel. I mean, I just see blue when I hear that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blueness.
He had that as a like think about song for his team one year. You know, he was like his last tenure at Florida, and he's like, I hope you guys really just dance. And you just really think about it. And he played the song. You got a bunch of college kids, and
Yeah,
they're
what a
like,
letdown
they're
as a
like,
player.
what?
What a letdown as a
What
player.
is
That's
You're like,
almost
sure
like
Rex
playing
Burkhead
Islands
was
in the
like,
Stream.
Rock Berlin.
Well, it's gonna be a rough year, guys.
Yeah.
Kenny
Rogers.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Kenny
Wow.
Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers.
Yeah, man.
Not Kenny Loggins.
Kenny
Oh yeah, Kenny Rogers. All right, who's going next? You guys yours?
Okay. Bon Jovi. Slippery When Wet. Best album of the 80s.
That's a good one.
Hold on,
Bunch
which?
of 10
Hey,
hits.
go to the main angle.
You
Yeah,
had
there we go.
two. I'm just going to do two also.
Is that rap? Is that rap?
No, Cinderella Night Song. Right there. That's two great albums of the 80s. That's the best one, Slippery When Wet.
Were-
And
were
I saw them
those-
in concert. Cinderella opened up for Bon Jovi.
Were those cassettes recovered from the Smurf Mobile before they were?
I guarantee you those were.
Well, they were played in there,
Yeah.
for
Did
sure.
Did you have the big tray? The
you
cassette
put 'em
tape
in?
holders?
Yeah,
No,
I got
the
that
tray
tray.
holder.
It's that, tray. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, that he
Got a
you'd
Rock
store 'em
99
in.
sticker on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Got the Billy Ocean
Absolutely.
CD in there, too. But
Absolutely.
that's the best one of the 80s. Slippery When
Caribbean
Wet.
Queen.
And right there. And
Was
the
that
night
the CD
song.
that you and y'all or not CD, but it was tape back in the day? Didn't you and
That's it right there.
what?
Tape right
You-
there.
You and Coach? No, I'm
Cassette.
saying the Billy Ocean.
No,
Gross.
that's not it. I got
You
it
and
at
Coach
home.
Gross used
Yeah,
to listen to
I
the
got
Billy
it at
Ocean.
home.
Okay.
In the Bonneville.
Billy Ocean, where it was.
Hey, I told y'all I'm a
Grand
podcast
Prix.
listener.
He
Grand
listens.
Prix,
Yeah.
I listen to this podcast.
Yeah, Cinderella opened up for Bon Jovi. That Slippery When Wet tour. That's good.
I feel underprepared for the fact that you actually had set pieces.
I
in
mean,
there,
yeah,
you
that's
know.
good
That's
stuff.
good
man.
stuff there.
I'm underprepared.
I almost brought my set piece.
And they just
Or
put a
my
trash
recommendation
bag.
as a
John
set
Bon
piece.
Jovi, they're trying to figure out what to call the album. And he said, well, heck, I don't know why he did this, but he just put a trash bag on a table and wet it down and just put Slippery When Wet on it. So for
Probably one of the
whatever
best-
reason, I don't know.
Best of all time, man.
There you go. Mine, and I hope I don't steal anybody's. Mine is going to be the new Top Gun movie. I'm just saying that thing.
Heard
is
great things.
Go see it. It
My
is.
football team went and watched it Friday.
Go watch it.
My new team.
Go watch it because it is fantastic. You don't have to watch the first one to kind of know what's going on, but it does help because there's a lot of callbacks to the old stuff. But
Yeah, 1986.
Really
This
good.
came out in 1986.
I was 2.
So 1986, the original Top Gun
That's
comes
about
out.
that. That's what I was about to say. That's probably at the same time.
Running Up That Hill comes out by Kate Bush.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And
that's,
You
now
can love
it's
a bad
now,
name.
Thing,
now
yeah.
it's 2022.
Hey,
It's great.
Running Up That Hill is the #1 song in America, and Top Gun is back in theaters.
Hey, look,
about
look,
that?
you can't
How about
beat this.
that?
Look at this. You give love a bad name, living on a prayer, wanted dead or alive,
That's ridiculous.
1, 2,
It
3.
don't get much better.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
never say goodbye. Hey, you can't beat that.
Raise your hand.
Yeah, Razor, that's a good one.
good
That's the
one.
whole thing is good.
Yeah.
Wild in the streets. I like that one. All right.
It's incredible.
Who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
My first.
Say goodbye, never say goodbye. Remember that? Hey, this man
I was
loves that
there.
song.
I was
Yeah,
there.
he was there.
I've made a transition here lately,
Uh-oh.
but not that kind of.
Oh, okay.
Being that it is
Not the
Pride
transition
Month,
that's popular in this
I thought
century,
y'all
or
might-
this decade.
No, I have
I
not.
agree.
I
That was
went
close.
from degree antiperspirant cool rush stick. I went to the degree spray.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let me tell you something.
Now I'm a Cool Rush guy, so I'm intrigued.
All right.
Yeah.
I started thinking about, all the health issues with this aluminum I'm putting under my underarms.
Yeah, the antiperspirant. Yeah.
I mean, we're just
What
filling it
doesn't
full
the
of
spray
aluminum.
have it too? though?
Well, I mean,
Don't it spray
but
down
I
there?
don't feel like I'm
It's in an
putting
aluminum
on there.
can, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
I've been wanting to switch
Aluminum
to
transfer.
But let me say this. The damage it does to my undershirts when I do have to wear
yeah.
undershirts or whatever shirt that is visible that I can see.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
aluminum in the. I saw a thing about
Exactly,
it.
man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
aluminum.
Like, what is that doing to my blood?
Yeah.
So it's
'Cause
funny
our
you
skin
say
is
that.
porous.
So you just went from the stick coating it on to coating on in the spray
In a
form.
spray.
Yeah.
Same
But-
thing.
Yeah.
Look,
But it feels better. It feels better.
I feel better about it.
Okay.
Look, I made the transition from antiperspirant to just regular
Regular
deodorant.
deodorant. It didn't work
and
out,
I
did
stopped
it?
sweating so much.
Did you
I
really?
did. I stopped sweating so
believe it.
much. Yeah.
I mean,
Which is counterintuitive.
Clint
but
went from wearing deodorant to not.
yeah. Matthew McConaughey.
Because I heard about you like to wear the same pair of pants all week.
Well, he's got
too.
the same
Yeah.
shirt on. We had
He wears the
last
same
time.
shirt every
Well,
episode.
Same shirt.
I mean, if it ain't dirty,
He's just
why
trying to
not?
keep the legacy alive.
I am, exactly. Look,
It's not dirty.
I wear a lot of deodorant, okay? I took a shower before I went and mowed. I took a shower after I went and mowed. And then before I came here, that's where I was.
You always got to
Mowing.
shower before you do
Always
your
got
yard
it.
work.
Exactly.
Yeah. Before?
Well, he did.
I do
It wakes me up. It wakes me up. I don't know why.
should
you
cut
wanna fall
right
asleep.
here.
You don't want to fall asleep on the mower.
Hey, I could.
No,
I just
that's
listen
not
to talk
good.
and go home.
Yeah.
That'll keep you awake.
You know, I've gotten to where I don't.
I literally did yesterday.
Yeah.
Listen to
it
James
is. It is good. Listen to when you cut
Dude,
grass.
podcast on
That's-
cutting
it's-
grass?
yeah,
Oh,
that's me.
Yeah.
That's the best.
That could
me.
be one of my recommendations.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be.
Yeah.
What is your recommendation?
You know what? By gosh, it is.
Okay. All right, that's one of my recommendations. Listening to Talk or Go Home while you're doing yard work.
There you go.
Pop in some earbuds and just, hey, you
Get
don't
after
even
it.
realize how quick you get done.
You'll be done before you know it.
Entertained the whole time. My next recommendation, virtual reality.
Really?
Boy, howdy. Yeah.
And I'll say, I made that up, like, because you had talked about us coming on the podcast months
Yeah.
ago, right?
Yeah.
So when I listen to you guys in every episode, recommendations, great idea, I love it. So at the time I was like, well, if I ever do it one day, my recommendation would probably be virtual reality because it's just really fun.
Do you have an Oculus?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What games you play?
Well, here's the thing. So I said that I was going to say that when I came on, but I haven't played it in like 2 months. But when I was really into it,
Yeah.
like there's games like one's called Contractors where you're literally playing every level, like for gamers out there, and I know y'all have the gaming podcast, you
Yeah.
know, or the retro review.
Yeah.
Like you get to play Call of Duty maps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know you don't know what I'm talking about at all.
Nothing. I
At
have
all.
no
and
idea.
and you're talking about the set pieces. I almost brought
I've
it
got
today
to look
just
up
so he could
virtual
do it.
reality.
Yeah.
I almost brought it
If he
today.
did it, that would have been
I
so
know,
perfect
and
for
I-
TikTok, man.
I thought about it all yesterday. I was like, should I take the Oculus or not? I was like, I don't know. Like, and today I almost grabbed it. I was like, no, it'll probably just be a distraction. But I didn't bring it. But I wish I would have because that'd been really funny. seeing it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I had an opportunity to go see that Maverick Top Gun movie, and
Yeah.
I just veered off and watched Smoking the Bandit instead.
Absolutely.
Who does that?
The 45th
Absolutely.
anniversary.
Hey,
but
do
anyway-
yourself a favor and go watch the Top Gun Maverick.
I
That
know
is
a good place we can go.
Hey, but
on
on
Wednesday
the
night.
virtual reality stuff, like driving games,
Yeah.
unreal.
Golf. I've
As a
heard golf is
workout,
really good.
I haven't played golf yet.
Baseball. Really
Baseball's
good.
cool, but like boxing.
That's the one I've played. Yeah, dude.
Oh, my
Just go to
gosh.
town, man.
And I would go down to my daughter's room because we turned our garage into another bedroom because we have 8,000 kids. You know? So we did
Like
that last year.
rabbits.
Yeah, and so we I go down in there and it's kind of a big floor and I like mark an area off for my Oculus
Yeah.
so I don't go and punch the window. You know.
Yeah.
And so I'm in there and I will get a towel. I'll
Oh, yeah.
shove it into my britches and tie my drawstring. Go shirtless and I got a headband on because it sweats. You know.
Yeah.
And I will go to town. I'm talking about working out.
Well, it's a good workout right there,
Oh, it's
isn't it?
unreal.
Yeah.
I
It
had
is,
one of my
it
old
is.
players came over like a couple months ago, and I got him on it. He wore himself out so much that literally went out in my yard and threw up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you want right
good,
there.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Blew me away. I was like, did this really just happen?
I've got a really good. It's funny you say that. I got a really good friend of mine. He's I don't know, early 70s. All right, and he's a preacher.
You got a lot of old friends.
And well, he's more like family, but he's
okay.
not family. But He's more like family.
Get
Anyway,
him on that.
Nick's an old soul.
Boxer
He bought
game.
one.
He's just an old soul.
he bought one. He went and bought an Oculus.
And you
He-
can fish.
You'll walk into his house, and his name's Frank, and he'll have the headset on, and he'll be boxing.
Dude, so
Does
much.
Frank
he'll be
sweat
breaking-
because he uses aluminum
Hey,
deodorant?
Yeah, a lot like him. He doesn't wear a shirt.
Me,
Okay.
me and our cousin Kenny, we play poker together, sitting at a table.
That's awesome.
Just like this. There's people sitting at a table,
And you just
and
turn
I'll
and
be
look, there
sitting
he is.
here. He will be sitting there, and we will look at each other, talk, and their mouths will move, and you can literally like hit
Yeah.
each other,
The metaverse is crazy, man.
play poker and blackjack. You know, it's unreal, dude. It's so cool. So
The
cool.
metaverse is crazy.
Yeah, so
It's
cool.
crazy. Well, guys, we appreciate you coming on, man. I mean, it
Man,
feels like this
yeah.
has flown by, but I know we've been here for almost 2 hours.
No,
so
we've been here over 3 hours.
so 3 hours. Oh my God, have we really?
We've been here over 3 hours.
Holy crap! It's been 3 hours.
Awesome.
Hey, do you remember what I
And there's
told
still
you?
more
Yeah.
to talk
When
about.
we were talking about coming on
Yeah.
doing, I was like, dude, this is gonna have to be one of those Joe Rogan type things where
and
it's gonna have 3 hours, and we hit 3 hours.
yeah,
Man.
yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's been a fantastic 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's been a great
I've
experience.
had one of the best times ever.
It's been great.
It's been a
Really.
phenomenal experience. So it's been what?
We've been filming for 3 hours
3 hours
and
and
27 minutes and 20 seconds.
I'm gonna love listening to
3.5
this.
hours.
Oh,
this is
boy.
gonna be great. 3.5 hours. I mean, that's not all of 3.5 hours will make it to air, but
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's a lot of stuff we ain't even talked about.
no,
Yeah, I was gonna
we
say
hadn't even
there is.
scratched
Look
the
at
surface.
We ain't even talked about like Propes coaching here with Bill Clark on staff and John Gross on
We're gonna have to have
staff.
y'all back.
I mean, we got some stuff we could talk
Yeah.
about, man. We got.
But see, the good thing is,
But,
okay, we've
I mean-
talked about a bunch of stuff, so now we can narrow down what we haven't talked
I'm
about.
just
so we
saying
can
this
get
because
ready.
you know I know y'all didn't do this with Sweat Hogs, but since there's 2 of us, you could technically make a 2-part series because we get time for each person split.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm not gonna.
That sounds smart, don't it? That's like a teacher made that up or something.
I don't want to put pressure on them to make us come back, you know. But I mean, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
we'd,
I mean,
we'd love to
come
have.
back.
Hey,
Why
but
not?
but
Let's do
we also understand that gas is almost $5 a gallon, and you live in Tuscaloosa,
That is true.
so there is that.
Hey, you did drive all the
And-
way up here today for this.
That's what I'm
I got a
saying.
company
Exactly.
vehicle.
More importantly, a company gas card.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Kyle.
Hey, I have an
Calvin
excavator.
Equipment.
I got an excavator. Wink, wink.
yeah.
At home, you can come up here.
Absolutely,
With
Calvin Equipment. All your equipment needs.
Exactly. But guys, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been a good time. But don't forget, and I hope y'all know the drill. Don't forget, you can talk.
Or you can go home.
I want y'all to watch this. Make sure this is turned up. So this is just like, this is literally, so we make sure we record everything because we capture.
Oh, you got to
moments
make sure that.
like this.